What the heck is a quad lock?
Watch this to find out. Whether you're in the car, on the bike, on the water, in the air, your phone is an important tool. Keep it secure with Quad Lock.
So, I mean, we've had it in the comments tonight. People are like, motorsport fans aren't stupid, don't treat them like that. It's so true.
I got a lot of backhanded compliments about what we're doing here and the audience that we've got.
All we're doing is putting up suggestions on how we think as people that have been involved in the sport and also fans.
Yeah.
Number one, fans of the sport. That's why we do what we do, and we've put ourselves through what we've put ourselves through for the last 20 years to chase a dream.
I messaged him and I said everything I'm saying tonight, and I said, like, you can say whatever the fuck you want about me. You're never going to get a legal letter from me. Speak your mind. If you think I'm shit, at least have the balls to say, Scott, I think you're shit.
Oh no! He's in the fence! The boat's in the fence! They're all in the fence! Oh, unbelievable!
Sound check.
Sound check.
Cheers, Elliot.
Cheers, Scott.
Welcome back to my bar.
Wow, your bar.
I feel like I am very much the guest today. I'm back on the seat. I'm no longer behind the bar. You've booted me from there. I think I've done 2 episodes. That's it. In 73, you've allowed me to have the mantle just twice.
Well, mate, you know I don't call the shots. You've just chosen twice to come up here.
That's true. You were nice enough today to say, hey, where do you want to go? But I do feel a little bit more at home seated. It is episode 73, and we're talking supercars. NASCAR, we got 2 races to recap because we missed last week.
Yeah.
And my little foray into broadcast, we'll deep dive into that a little bit. And you were away on the weekend, mate. You did the TA2 two-driver event.
I did. The TA2 Enduro, they called it, even though they're 45-minute races. Yeah, it was fun. So I got to team up again with TFH Hire Racing, with Des again, Des Collier. So it was fun, mate. We ended up having a 5th in the last race, which was felt like a little bit of a win. We had a bit of a tough weekend, just with a few niggles in the car and stuff and not being super comfortable. So, yeah, Des did a great job. Thanks for having me back in your car, mate. Appreciate that, and glad we could bring home another top 5. So last year we did it together. We finished 4th, and this year we were 5th, so it was good.
Close.
Yeah.
One worse, hopefully one better next year, mate. Maybe a few more better next year. But I thought the racing wasn't too bad in the end. And it was good to see your last race because I caught that on Sunday. And you stayed out of trouble. I think you've usually got the curse of Jackson Evans. You and Jackson, I feel like, are 2 very unlucky people right now, and usually that's you. But I thought you actually...
too, mate.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, a lot of mine's self-inflicted sometimes. But I did think come Sunday, you actually had a really good run of just shit happening around you and managing to stay away from it, which was good to see for a change.
Yeah, I definitely was lucky we had some restarts and was able to position myself to make some moves and then also capitalise on a few people's stuff-ups and stuff. So, yeah, it was definitely more luck than skill involved, I think, in some of it. But you got to be there.
We can get into it, but I was impressed that on the TA2 event, they managed to rescue the cars out of the gravel trap a hell of a lot faster than they could on a supercar weekend. That one in the last race at Supercars was about 15 minutes, and it was 7 laps till they went back racing. I thought TA2 did a much better job of at least getting the show back on the road. It might have been the same recovery crew, but it did seem like there was a bit more urgency to get the race going because I was pretty bummed at the supercar race on the Sunday up there.
Yeah, we're lucky. That event was actually run by WASA, so different to Motorsport Australia. And,
okay,
you know, they have a big ethos around value for money and getting racing laps in. So they try and do it as quick as they can while still maintaining safety, obviously. So, yeah, no, they did a good job considering they only had 1 actual tilt tray on the weekend. So I think they were lucky some of the recoveries they could just skull drag them out with the Ranger or whatever they had. Yep.
Does WASA always run the TA2 events, and then who runs the Trans Am events? Is that MA?
So Trans Am we run under Motorsport Australia, like Supercars and a lot of the other categories. And then, TA2 runs under... It has run a couple of events under Motorsport Australia, but predominantly WASA.
What's the difference? Is it just the tyre between Trans Am and TA2?
Yeah, so up until today, it was the tyre.
Today?
So they changed. So that was the last weekend. So Trans Am run on the Hoosiers. You've heard me say throw a Hoosier on it many a time.
Yeah, big fan of the Hoosier.
And the only difference this year, so mechanically, engine-wise, the cars are identical. Just this year, TA2 ran on a Goodyear tyre. They've now scrapped that because no one likes it and wants it. So now TA2 from now is back on the Hoosier. So as of now, today, cars are identical.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Before I do forget, I'll let everyone know we're live streaming tonight again, which is always good fun. Keeps our energy up as well because I feel like we've got a bit of a live chat going on with people throwing in questions. So if you are in our Patreon now, feel free during this podcast to keep sending us questions. We've actually just done a giveaway as well. We try and do those monthly. To be honest, the last one we were a little bit slack on. We probably gave it away nearly 2 months. But we've just given away a Pioneer DJ kit as well. So thank you to Shaw and those guys there. But Z Motorsport Memorabilia has been supplying us some fantastic memorabilia behind the bar there with you, Barbs. And we've just given that away to a lucky member as well. So, if you'd like to, sub to Patreon. And, you not only get to participate in the live streams, but also we're going to America next week. We go for 10 days to Daytona and Darlington, which...
this week.
Shit, yeah. This week we leave Thursday.
2 days, mate, or whatever we're heading off. So
that's come around real fast. But we will be doing some YouTube content, and we're recording. We're doing 3 podcasts at the moment over there, as well as we're a guest on a pod, which we can announce.
Yes.
Do you want to tell the people, Bubs?
Very excited for this. So we are going to be guests on Stacking Pennies.
Yep.
Which is awesome. Fantastic show with Corey LaJoey and Ryan Flores. So pumped to get on that. Been listening to them for a while now, and it looks, well, they've been listening to us too, which is really cool. So that's going to be awesome fun. So cannot wait to get stuck into their studio. And they've got a new vending machine which punches out beers. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that, a few sound checks with the boys.
I did see that. That looks mega. I'm very jealous of their vending machine. We nearly need one back here at the bar, but I do. I'm a huge fan of just podcasts in general, and it's been cool to get into the US ones because obviously those guys know their shit about NASCAR, and I watched it today to get their recap and thoughts as well. I love hearing which is why I think it'll be fun for us to go in there, is the different style of, I guess, the different thoughts around the way they go racing, whether it's like the penalties or the types of cars, the way they generate their speed. The oval stuff is very unique to us out this side of the world. So there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to just picking their brain about. I think it's a cool opportunity for us as well to kind of go over. It's on the NASCAR YouTube, and then somewhat represent, Aussies as just fans of our sport, but we're obviously equally involved in supercars and motorsport here in Australia. But it's a good collaboration. It's our first one we've done, and can't wait to get over there and chat with those guys. Also got a few other pods lined up, which we won't announce now. We'll just get those in the bank and then get them out there for you guys. But yeah, if you want, we're going to pretty much film the whole trip and post across Patreon for the 10, 11 days?
Yeah, it's 10, something like that.
And then, the polished stuff will come out when we get back and get some time to wrangle everything together and publish it.
But if you want a real good behind the scenes, definitely sign up to our Patreon because, as you said, we'll be firing stuff up left, right and centre. And it'll be a good behind the scenes look into NASCAR life over there.
Looking forward to the road trip back as well. Shane, we were a little bit worried. His bus had nearly shit itself, I think, and he's managed to fix it up. So we're road tripping back from Daytona with him and his dad and one of his mates. There'll be, I think, 6 in the bus, so that's going to be a tight squeeze.
Be good, mate. You'll be driving. I'll be down the back sinking beers. Be good.
But yeah, anyway, lots of good things happening. Big week this week, so I'll put this out. This is Monday night. I'll publish this tomorrow, and then we will pack our bags and
off we go.
Depart. Hopefully, we get let in.
Maybe we should postpone this so we're in before this goes live in case they're listening.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, lots to go through. We're also going to cover off, Austin Cindric's racing the Adelaide 500.
Yeah.
Big news. We announced that a little while ago.
Hazard left foot breaker coming in hot.
Yeah, if you want to see the image, we created AI image, supplied to us by a friend of ours. Won't say who, but it was a very funny announcement. And I think it's going to be exciting to see what happens there. I think being a left foot breaker, I drove on the 2025 tyre on Tuesday in Supercars, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. It's very edgy. I don't know. They've been talking about it having a lot of front grip. I almost feel like the rear instability comes in quite early, and I feel like it's rear grip limited. But if you're a left foot breaker and not using the clutch on downshifts, I think you're going to have some issues. And so I don't know. It's going to be a challenge. We'll see if Cindric sticks to left foot braking or goes to some right foot with the clutch. We talk about the heel and toe. Really, it's the clutch. I think that's, when I was doing the test day on Tuesday, I couldn't believe how much you need to, how do you describe it? Like the driver is in control of the balance of the car more on that tyre. I think like you've got to really use your feet to steer the car to keep it stable and make sure you don't have any rear slide because it kills tyre life. But once it gets a little bit of oversteer, you've got no drive. You can't get it back under control. So the new tyre is, I'm not a fan. We ran the old tyre as well. I did a couple of sessions on that, and I just thought it was fucking amazing. And even watching the racing, if I'm honest, Supercars, I think the 24 tyre has a decent peak grip, but it cliffs, and therefore you get a difference in strategy. The offset only needs to be a few laps, but the new tyre had no deg really. You get the thermal, so if you're the car behind, you just can't pass or follow closely. And then the one in front has no deg, so even if you've got a faster car, you can't really do much with it. So I'm interested to see how that unfolds for the rest of the year. At the moment, 24 tyre seems great, but for the American coming over with Cindric, I think he's going to have a challenge if that's the tyre they run in Adelaide. I think it's a very difficult tyre to get your head around if you weren't using the...
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Anyway, but there we go, announce it. If he pulls the pin, I'm going to be annoyed. Now I've just said that so confidently.
You've scared him off probably. He was locked in doing it. Now he's probably going to go, oh, actually, maybe not.
Yeah, probably.
The tyre's great. It's awesome for left foot breakers, Austin, so don't worry about that, mate.
And then there's a few driver movements, which we can get to.
Yep, and we'll talk about your broadcast stuff.
Should probably get into that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, so let's fire into it. So it was a big weekend. What was that, 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half ago, Scotty? You got the call up to don the white shirt. You went and made your broadcast debut. Firstly, well done, mate. I thought you did a great job. How was it? Talk us through it.
It's probably difficult to feel like I did, appreciate saying it, but I don't think that you can actually say it really because I didn't feel like I did a lot. The format.
When I say great job, you just didn't fuck up.
Yeah, true.
So,
Well, the biggest thing I was worried about, there was a moment where I was trying to describe someone's fuck up, and I was thinking, how do I not just say fuck up?
Yeah,
There's that moment of like at the bar, this would be so much easier to explain and just, I'm like, I can't swear.
I could use 10 words at the bar. I've got none right now.
Yeah, exactly. My vocabulary is a little bit smaller than like Scafey. I was like, fuck, there we go. Sorry, I just saw it then. But no, look, I had a good time. Obviously, it's understandable that I received a pretty icy reception. And, that's understandable, I guess. I've been critical of what's been going on there. But all in all, I did enjoy it. I just was a little disappointed with the amount of time I was given because really I think I wanted to go in there and actually be able to have some discussion, share opinions. It didn't have to be interviews all the time, but I thought there'd be opportunity to stand at the desk with, Scafey or GT and Scafe or GT and Frosty and actually have some discussion and talk about things, debate things. But there was really, on Sunday in the schedule, I had 2.5 minutes planned for the whole day. On Saturday, I got that and I said to them, look, guys, this is a bit of a waste of time if I'm totally honest. And I don't mind if you just cut that because what can I do in 2.5 minutes that any other wobbler in the pit lane couldn't do? I don't have any opportunity to bring a point of difference here. And then the segments I was involved in were really just Q&As with Jesse Yates. So I'm like, what the fuck am I here for?
Your good looks and charm?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. It's probably a small field agreeing with you there. But then come, I guess Friday night, I think it was, I straight away said, look, what about, I was looking at the schedule and I said, what about if Frosty and I got a handheld camera, just got someone to run with us, just someone run and gun. We go onto the grid for the race start at the back and we just cruise down the lane for 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And we go over and interview people. And then if you can't find someone for a moment, you got two guys that have good chemistry and a relationship already after being teammates that we could bounce off of each other. Frosty has a much better way of delivering things than me. So maybe he could come in and soften the blow before I come in and ask, Erebus, are you for sale? We get calls. I get calls about that all the time, like people wanting me to drive there next year. So there's that question. You go over to Charlie and finding out about David Reynolds. There's loads of questions that could have been asked up and down the lane that would have been fun and also a little bit more freedom to be yourselves and show the relationship that I have with, say, Frosty, for example, or even like you could have with JC if he was there. But the format is not conducive to showing personalities at the moment. So I did get a lot of insight. And I would say none of it is a shock. My report I wrote on Monday to Supercars was 1,200 words. I checked that in ChatGPT today. How many words was this? 1,200. So I gave a pretty detailed breakdown of my thoughts, what needs to improve, right down to the uniform. Which is...
That was a great point when you chatted to me about that, mate. I thought, so true. Show people's characters.
Yeah.
Very hard to show people's character if everyone looks the same.
Yep.
When it's a visual medium, people are watching it. So you need to, express yourself visually as well as from speaking.
Even when someone tunes in, you might see someone that you relate to based on, you know, what it sounds so corny, but what they wear I think is important. It shows personality, and we see it with Formula One, with IndyCar. They're all dressed and styled by their sponsors, and Supercars fortunate to have the brand with Boss, which is awesome. Like the clothing's great. It's just, for me, it's a little bit too stiff. But anyway, my thoughts on the way it ran, I would have loved to have done, I think Jess does a great job. I said in my feedback, I don't think it's necessary to have Jess in every segment that I did, for instance. I would have preferred 1 or 2 where it's 10 or 15 minutes and it could almost be like a mini pod. We talk about things that happen in the race, good stops, bad stops, drivers that underperformed. Yeah, shit like that I think would have been good. I just didn't get any opportunity to have any discussion.
They would have wanted you on a short leash, mate. I'd be worried too, bringing you in. You'd go rogue.
I've kind of come away though thinking, was it, you know, really... And I do want to trust them, but I do worry a little bit that it was a token gesture to try and win over our listeners.
Yeah, right.
Which I hope it's not. I hope that they do take on board the feedback. And I had some really great chats after with James Warburton as well. And he you know, saw my notes and was really positive about them, which was really nice. I think that he's a breath of fresh air. I think there's going to be some great change. And I do believe deep down that's why I was there.
That's driving it.
I think so. And so that makes me positive, but I'm still skeptical just because where I was used, I'm like, I literally just did Q&As with Jess. She just asked me questions. And the first one I stood up to, I had a page of notes. I must have had like 20 notes from teams, drivers, pit stop notes, the race itself, and things I thought were, you know, not great or needed, you know, talking about. And Jess said straight away, this is right before the first point, oh, you can't just bring that up. And I'm like, well, what the fuck do we talk about then? And she said, oh, well, like just the way it works. And I understand there's restraints with commercial TV, but she pretty much links every question with B-roll, like with vision overlay. So she sort of just throws us questions. And I'm like, well, this fucking seems pretty boring. I don't think this sounds that fun. And I realized, like, by the third day, you almost don't need notes. I'm like, this is why everyone's gotten lazy. Like, I felt like no one was really dissecting the race. You could literally just watch the highlights and then go on broadcast and talk about it. That was kind of the level of insight we were offering, and that was a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw & Partners Financial Services. Shaw & Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw & Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. Positives, I guess it was really good for them to show me the back end of broadcast, which I had seen before. I think it was like 2015 or 16, they took me in and showed me at Bathurst all of the broadcast stuff. So it's not like I haven't seen it before, but seeing it again, it's like a fucking spaceship in there. I don't even know how. I think they've had good retention of staff over the years because you could not just turn up and...
It's not a plug and play
Well,
setup.
I mean, maybe they can as experts, I guess, that are trained in that. But I walked into the room and there's that many cameras, that many buttons. The team... Yeah, do an amazing job. So what I would say is when broadcasts say, you know, when you're watching, because I've complained about this where you're like watching a pit stop and then, you're watching an on-track action and then they cut to a pit stop or something. I would probably say like, I don't know how many fucking buttons and cameras there are, but it's quite easy to cut to something, whether it's by accident or not. And so for that, I feel like I should probably give some breathing space there with the producing of it. Sometimes I'm like, okay, it's not that easy, that side of it. But then the on-camera stuff, I'm like, I feel like anyone could do the bits that I did. We were just, it was a Q&A, which all of us drivers have done a million times. But leading up to the event, before it, my biggest, I did a 30-minute pre-production meeting, which I don't really know what you can achieve in 30 minutes. And I put this in my notes on the Monday. I found that a little bit frustrating that teams live and breathe this sport. Like they spend so many hours, every team, in trying to make sure the product when we go racing is amazing. And then that product we care so much about is really into the broadcast hands to take it to the public. And when I only put 30 minutes into a pre-production meeting, I felt like that was a little bit half-assed in a way. And then people weren't even in the office. They were just calling in from different locations. Someone really key didn't even pull over. He's driving and entering in and out of the Zoom call. I'm like, fuck, if I did this in a team briefing, like you think back to T8 when I was there, oh my God, like Roland Dame would absolutely murder me. Like he had a fine in place for Jamie if he was 1 minute late. Like you have to be at those things, and they normally go for 2-3 hours. And a pre-production meeting, I look at when you're in the sport, should be like a pre-brief. You look at your past event, you look at feedback from the fans, you look at things we could have done differently, and then you implement the changes. This pre-production meeting was just like I really didn't even need to turn up for it. Like, and I think that's a shame because that's probably why the product hasn't changed over the years. And for me, that was a little bit frustrating. But me being there is, okay, we're trying to make change now. You know what I mean? I think that next year, that's why I made the notes. That's why the email I sent was so long and in detail, because I do think next year things will be slightly different. But the pre-production meeting was a little bit underwhelming, and mainly because I'm used to Teamland where, well, you know, when you come in from a session, as soon as you pull in, there's an engineer telling you you suck here, there and everywhere, wherever it might be, you go straight back out and try and fix it. That's how you keep performing. Someone said to me after the weekend, the problem is they're the only person on the timesheet. Yeah. You know, the staff, I think, are a little bit comfortable in terms of like the talent.
There's no threat.
On camera, yeah. And they're not looking for the 1%ers right now. Or they might be in the future, but I felt like it's like, you have to improve your performance, otherwise someone's going to come and take your job.
Felt like it was a formality rather than to actually gather some information or better the process. Or
yeah. So pre-production might sound small, but I really thought that's where I would have seen. I probably was disappointed because I'm like, you got to read the comment section. You got to engage with the fans and find out what's going on, and you can kind of work out what do we need to improve on, what's not landing. And then I honestly thought it was going to be like at least an hour of breaking down what they did at Townsville, all of the stuff that didn't sit well with fans, everything they thought in terms of production didn't go well. Here's all of our changes, and we're going to get to Queensland Raceway, and it's going to be all these new crazy things we're going to try, like you do in a race team. Yeah. It was literally just like, you know, welcome on board. It was very, very brief. I don't want to totally shit can it, but I was a bit, that probably set me off at the start of the week going, well, this isn't, I've been critical, and I can probably see why I've been critical now. And then I think that the team's a little bit comfortable. Everyone's got quite long contracts in place. One in particular is like, he's got his finger in every pie, which I do think needs to be...
Hopefully not the Scott pie.
Oh my God. Definitely not. But I think that, you know, you can't have someone having too much control or too much say. Drivers, like we're on performance review all the time, Barbs.
Oh, mate, yeah. And that's what blows me away. Like, I didn't obviously know that people have like long contracts, but yeah, it's no different to any athlete or a driver or any CEO or anyone in a high position, high influence position. Yeah. You know, nothing should be set in stone.
No. And I probably, looking at the weekend, I did feel like, I mean, it's very political. Obviously, I'm going to get the icy reception, which I expected, but I didn't see any real chemistry off camera between anyone. And I was like, you know, for you and I, we literally will start talking, forget to hit record because we're just talking about the sport. We're like obsessed, you know, we're loving it. No one speaks off camera. It's just like you stand there, you wait, and then you hit go, and it's fake laughs. It's just like...
As a punter that watches on the couch, sometimes you feel that or you see that. You're like, oh, this fake laughs or this doesn't feel right, or you know they've just had a Barney 5 minutes before they're on air because you've seen it, and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, so it is definitely missing a bit of chemistry, probably a little bit there. But I mean, in saying that, what like we have is quite rare. I think, you know, you see it with Hamish and Andy, a great example of why they've been so popular for so long because they've genuinely got that chemistry. I think that's why even Brody and Will probably go okay with their pod.
Yeah,
because they're mates and they've got that chemistry. Yeah, and they're probably not scared to tell each other what they think.
Well, yeah, I mean that's one thing, right? Like, so when it was pre-qualifying, and I tried to add something and I got it wrong, right? I went I thought, so I was pretty sure it was 2 10-minute qualifyings, but I thought, I'm on TV, I better check the website. And the website said it was a 10-minute and an 8-minute qualifying format. But the website had been updated since, or the sup-regs had been updated.
Yep.
So, which I should have probably gone and checked the sup-regs. Anyway, I screenshot the website, the Supercars website, and I had that in front of me. And what I wanted to, the reason I went looking for that is because with the 10-minute qualifying sessions, all the teams I spoke to said it's really second lap is your fastest, and we're looking at doing 2 runs, but if you're in the lower 50% of the lane, you'll struggle to get 2 runs with 2 laps.
Yeah.
So all I wanted to say was like the challenge, and one thing worth watching is the guys that are in the bottom half the lane, will they get 2 runs? Will they get to do it on their second lap? What's the disadvantage going to be? But I said 8 minutes, which was wrong. And then when we went off air, Jess said to me, it's actually 10 minutes, not 8. And I was like, oh, fuck. And she's like, it's okay. Like, we just don't correct each other on air. And I was like, actually, I said, I don't mind. I actually would have rather like tap. I could probably tell in your face if I fucked it up. Or you would go,
mate,
hang on, mate, it's 10, isn't it?
Imagine them being on this show. I can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
I get pulled up straight away.
But like someone's sitting at home going, this fucking idiot doesn't even know how long it is. And it's okay to make the mistake, but hey, we should definitely correct it. And you're not going to hurt my feelings. And I'm not worried about, but that's where I think there's not that chemistry between them, because I'm like, you should have the comfort to go, or the freedom to go, hang on, mate, actually, I'm pretty sure it is 10, and show that we do make the odd mistake, but correct each other so that when the listeners sitting there, they don't get frustrated with us constantly getting shit wrong and never addressing it.
Yeah.
It's part of being human, but also shows Jess knows her shit, had she corrected me. And straight away, the producer, when we finished, he was good about it. He said, don't sweat it, mate. Yeah, it's all good. Like, it's obviously wrong. But also, I tried to raise, like I said in qualifying, about when are we going to have green tyres for this top 10 shootout? We just watched 60% of the field run around unused. And they didn't, like, I don't know if it's just because of me, but they wouldn't pick up on anything. I'd try and, like, even in overtime, I asked Brock about the overtime, and, like, they just ignore the question. So I'm like, well, how do you...
I did see there was an article today about that, though.
I know. But, like, how do you spark conversation? And that's probably what my feedback was like. We got to find a way that everyone's comfortable enough to debate something together and go, well, actually, no, Scott, I don't think that's a good idea. And then tell me why. And then I can tell you why I think it is. And someone on the couch will have a side they'll take, and it's fun. It's pub chat.
Problem is with the conversational stuff, isn't it? It can catch people out. And no one wants to say on TV, like, this is why I think they're not doing it, because if they haven't prepped on it or they don't understand it well enough, they'll go, and you say something to me and then I go, oh, fuck, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can see why they're resistant to that, because you've got to be an expert.
Yeah, yep.
And they probably should be, but, and not saying that they're not, but I think you see it with F1, right? They're doing it quite well, where they'll cut to another group of people and then they'll have that discussion, or they'll have Nico there. They've got, and they have that sort of conversational chat between each other.
Yeah.
And they do run the risk of, like...
Yeah, if you don't know your shit, you're going
to get caught out. Like, you see it when Danica Patrick goes on sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
She gets caught out a little bit with some stuff. So you go... But it's good, because then the viewers, it's talking points. That's why all the clips come up on social later about it and stuff. Like, it's still promoting the sport. People are still talking about it. It has a benefit to it. But
you're creating, your long form is there to create short form too. And it's not just in podcasting, but I think in live sport, some of the topics you talk about, you have to be mindful of what's going to create good short form content. Like what Nico Rosberg does. Some of the questions he asks create good short form. I mean, we've got 500,000 views on one of his clips from Formula One.
Yeah.
Even the clips of, like, I think I posted asking Brock about overtime, and then one other. And they both, did really well on socials. And I'm like, if I had more opportunity, like with Frosty, I think that would have been really fun to roll the lane. Yeah. And the problem is, though, Crompo and those guys have a real stronghold on the pit lane.
Right.
On those, they're kind of like your golden nuggets. And I'm never going to be able to, I asked, but it was just, no, you can't have those ones kind of thing. And I was told that we're sharing a mic kit. Me and Frosty, so that's fair enough. But hopefully in the future,
well, we could have spoken to Shaw at Jans, and Shaw would have hooked us up with another mic if they need one.
Could have got a separate one.
Yeah, I mean, you just made me think then, like, it would be amazing to see, like a Tander, a Winterbottom, yourself on the grid, because you're still close enough. You're all still racing, so you're still close enough to it. You still know everyone really well in the cars. Like, I think, that would be.
Well, the reason I sort of thought about it was, I thought because when you go and kneel down at someone's door, right, you're off air at that time, so you're not able to start talking and build that relationship or whatever, or build the the chemistry when you're chatting to someone off air and then just roll into it. You're sort of just kneeling there waiting for your moment. And then they cut to the guys at the door and they go, yeah, hey guys, I'm sitting here with James Golding. And then they ask this question and it's like,
how are you going to get off the line? Oh, hopefully I do. And then they go, next car. What's important here? Oh, a good start would be good. And then they go, next car.
Same.
You know, you bogged it down the last one. You're going to get, there's a lot of about the starts, like, yeah, cars are hard to get off the line and I could fuck it up or I could nail it, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm like, give us a coffee, put us to the back of the lane and go, off you go.
Yeah.
And, we just start talking and we'd be rolling up to people and some of the stuff that would just happen off the cuff, I think would make great short form content and be entertaining. But it's always the same people get those interviews on the grid. And to be honest, like I said, I was disappointed that I was like, I got to stand at the desk for a few minutes each day. And that was it. That's why I'm like, if anyone says good job, like even like the feedback I got from them was great. But I'm like, how the fuck is, like, I didn't do anything. Like I didn't feel like I got to offer anything. But anyway, the stuff with Jess as well, like I on my notes, Jess said, and this was a bit frustrating, but I guess I have to expect it. There's a couple topics. One in particular I wanted to talk about was the Team 18's performance. Now they've started to receive some of the homologation parts or tech. And the info from Jeremy Moore now. I just wanted to discuss how much impact that's having on them, how much of their performance they've got right now is attributed to that, and then is that sustainable into the future once, they obviously get a short-term gain, but if they can't keep developing it, or will they be able to keep developing it to perform next year? And so I gave that to Jess, and then when she asked the question, because I was like, fuck yeah, this will be fun, she started the question with, so Garth, and then it just completely bypassed me, and I was like, so after that, I was like, well, fuck, I'm not going to give you any more of my shit. And I'm like, this is the problem. Everyone's like hogging screen time or ego-driven. It's like, it's such a political, so you almost hide your notes, don't speak, don't give away anything, and then roll up, and then you like try and get in what you can when you have a split second. So it's not conducive to entertaining broadcast, I'd say. But it's going to change, I would say. I think there's a lot that's going to change. I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group have got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Quadlock, fantastic supporter of our podcast as well. We use their products every single day on the pod using their desk mounts here. Also, we've used them to create the additional content like we did the Adelaide Motorsport Festival using their action camera mounts. So whether it's mounts, phone cases, they've got you covered. Quadlockcase.net. Now the website for all of these brands that support us will be in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. Journalists always shit can drivers, right? They love to commentate and create. They'll give like clickbait headlines. They'll talk about which drivers should be hired and fired for others, and they do it freely. Only 3 weeks ago, Noons, or 4 weeks ago, Noons was like, I should be replaced by JC. I don't know what the guy's agenda is with JC at the moment, but I mean, that is...
Replaced where?
At TA as co-driver.
As a co-driver, right.
Yeah, and which is fucking, in my opinion, I'm like, I think that's silly. The guy's 10 years older than me and I beat him as a teammate. Like, why would you... I mean, we won Sandown, won the Enduro Cup last year. I'm like, but that's okay. You can go out and have your opinion. You can shit can me all you want. That's what journos do. But the moment I talked about broadcast, for some reason, it was different. I'm like, why is it that they're off limits when really they are like the forefront of providing the product?
A driver's a performance component, and a journalist or a broadcaster or anyone else around the sport is a performance component too, because they've got performance metrics they have to meet, which is like engaging fans or bringing new people in the sport or great content. So it shouldn't be any different, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, you put yourself out there. Like, yeah, you know, as a driver, you put yourself out there, you race in front of people, it's your name on the window. When something goes wrong, it could be car related, but the driver's the one that's going to cop it.
Yeah.
It's their name that gets tarnished. So you put yourself out on a limb. So I don't know why anyone else that's in the sport doing a similar thing should be untouchable. If a driver can so easily get bashed for when it's not their day or something goes wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty, like when I come away from the weekend, I was pretty fired up because we got, I won't say who it was, but this one comment really pissed me off. And I got a lot of backhanded compliments about what we're doing here and the audience that we've got. And one of the people on TV said to me off air that, oh, you've done a really good job. You know, he was trying to explain to me how to talk to a wider audience. And I appreciated all the advice I got from everyone. But then he threw in there, because really you guys have quite a niche audience. You know, Scotty, you've done a really great job at capturing the Speed Cafe comments. And there's a little bit more than that watch us on TV. And I was just like, the fuck, dude? Like,
I disagree with that.
I do, yeah, but even so, I'm like, even if it is, they're still our fans of our sport. They're not Speed Cafe comments. People that comment on our sport love our sport. So I'm like, one, why are we insulting the fans of people you talk to?
Oh, and
Plus, also, I think there is a broad audience here. There's a lot of people that just love our sport and they've been craving like-minded people. And when I went on broadcast and I was like, where's the passion that we share?
yeah.
We literally wouldn't even know when the cameras turned on. We're like, oh, fuck, we're actually rolling here. We need to...
And that's why our shows go for so long. Everyone's like, short them up. We're just having a good time. But mate,
pub chatting about motorsport.
Motorsport fans too are not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, because it's quite a unique sport. Like, there's a lot of aspects to it. So to fully understand motorsport, there's strategy, there's all sorts of stuff. So you've got to be entrenched in the sport, I think. Like, our fans are all in, or they don't. Like, either love motorsport or you hate it, is how I see it. It's not like footy where you can have a casual viewer. I think a lot of the people are quite invested in it and they love it. They live and breathe it. You know,
they do.
Petrol heads. So they know their shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've had it in the comments tonight. People are like, motorsport fans aren't stupid. Don't treat them like that. It's so true.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. And that's why the hunters that are here in our Patreon just firing in questions, like, we survive off them because half the time they're smarter than us.
Well, that's why as well. I'm like, I don't mind if I got it wrong. Tell me.
Yeah, like, we'll own up to
There's
it.
heaps of shit that, you know, and that's because the people watching are quite educated. So if you don't correct me on air, they're going to know the answer and think we're dickheads for not knowing the sport we're talking about. And of course, like, it's okay to make a mistake sometimes, but just fix it. But it is a bit of a, and I mean, I've had journos obviously with the stuff that happened with Greg Rust last year as well, and Noons saying provide receipts.
Yeah.
I provided receipts. I showed the text messages. Not good. I didn't get my formal apology that I asked for from Rusty. And that's one thing that really frustrated me. I'm like, hang on, I showed you that it wasn't just my opinion that said I wasn't being filmed. It was the camera operator. You can call the guy too. He said it's okay. And I know that even tonight, you know, some of the stuff I say, they'll be like, oh, we have to provide receipts. I'm like, it's bullshit. And the people that say it have no credibility. It really annoys me. Like, you know, Noons we can play it on here actually, like his little moan about me.
He had a dig at you, didn't he?
He did.
I don't actually listen to the stuff because I've got other shit to do. But
the thing that frustrates me, probably getting a bit wound up here, but that's okay.
Hey,
there's a few things to do, but it's like I have probably, yes, I see the comments and people are like, is Scott worried about maybe jeopardising some of his own career? There's been, like with driving.
Right.
And yes, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I do love the sport and I just want it to be, like if you believe in something, you want to try and change it, you do everything you possibly can to make it better. And hopefully if I have a kid one day that wants to race supercars, I said this to Shane when he left. I remember being in Sydney in the hotel and I said to him when he was frustrated with supercars, I was like, supercars still gave you this opportunity to go and race NASCAR. You met your partner through supercars. Like I love the sport and I'll never be ungrateful for the 12 years I got as a full-time driver. I'm still getting to earn an income from driving cars. But equally, I'll always speak out and say if I think something should be better because I think it's better for the future of the sport that we care about. And yes, sometimes it might fuck me. And it has. Like there's risk for sure. Like I've done things, saying things, even the pod tonight, I'm sure, you know, there'd be just people that would have rather me not talk about it. But that's why. And Noonan, you said to me, I heard you, mate, say, don't talk about it on your podcast. Like do it privately. I do. I always have. I've never gone out banging the door down begging for broadcasts. I'll say it here, Nathan will be listening to this. The only time I reached out and asked for broadcasts was pre-Apex Hunters. And I offered, I said, hey, I'm the only driver that's been full-time in Gen 3. Would love to do something like Ant Davison does and maybe do some driver analysis of the cars and the attitude of them just after some races, just at like a screen.
Yeah.
Could be good, don't know. He ran that up to the old CEO and some others and it was shut down, right? And never after, we then, you know, eventually got Apex Hunters going and that was it. From then on, the only thing I did was send emails with advice for Drivers Only Pod, for broadcast, some of the stuff that I thought was happening, and the short form content on Instagram. I would help out the editors. I'd DM the page. They don't reply to me, But if there was any glitches or mistakes, I'd just help them out and say, hey, guys, notice this.
Yeah.
I never went back and said, hey, I should replace this guy or anything like that. And I'm not saying here now that I should replace anyone. I think heaps of good people out there. But it annoys me when people say, I had this agenda. And then I have Shannon say, well, I had to ring Noonan and say, you're not allowed to write about anything to do with Erebus. You have to, otherwise you'll lose the book deal. So he's like, oh, okay. So that's why. I'm like, I'm out here like fucking speaking my mind and being passionate and talking about the sport. And then you've got people criticising me that actually are keeping things from the fans because it doesn't help their back pocket. So that's what pisses me off. It's fine for people to sit there and criticise, but I'd like to see them go do a top 10 shootout lap because that's the equivalent to me going up to broadcast when no one wants me there. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I said that I didn't like it, so I went and did it. I'd like to see some of the others do it.
I like it.
Anyway, there you go.
Well, I feel better. Do you?
A little bit.
I'm not sold.
We can play the...
Not sold by your answer there, mate.
obviously get annoyed. It's more the stuff, the noise around the stuff we do that's frustrating, I guess. But we'll play the clip because this is what probably annoyed me.
And Scott got an opportunity. He's been crying out for one for 12 odd months. He's been banging the door. He's been bagging people out. He's been doing his thing over on his channel. He got his...
So there's that one.
People are tuning.
Which, as I said, and Nathan, everyone at Supercars will listen to this, I didn't bang the door down and beg for anything. I never even asked again after the first time when I mentioned the Ant Davison, which is very different to what was being done. I actually never said, I'd like to do that. I offered something new that I thought would help.
In
and then
because they like it. If you don't like Supercars, you're not tuning in, are you?
Yeah, correct.
You don't want to be. You don't want to tune in and have the thing you like to be bagged out. I don't think.
I'm just going to pause it there.
Who's that talking?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Krause, maybe?
Oh, was it?
But I think the thing is, it's not about bagging it outright. It's about having an opinion on the sport. So I think people do tune in to hear a point of difference rather than people just agreeing with each other.
Well, dude, like when you think about it too, all the shit that's been said over the last 14, 15 months on the pod, how long we've been doing it, at some point they've been either spoken about or they've been implemented or tried. And so, you know, people can say we're shit canning, but as you say, all we're doing is putting up suggestions on how we think as people that have been involved in the sport and also fans.
Yeah.
Number one, fans of the sport. That's why we do what we do, and we've put ourselves through what we've put ourselves through for the last 20 years to chase a dream.
Yep,
You know, and
exactly.
put our families through it
100%.
is because we friggin' love it.
Yeah.
And we want to see it prosper and be good.
Yeah.
And survive.
Here's the next
And
little
look,
bit.
like anything, there's stuff that could be better. There's stuff that we've all
always.
got an opinion on that we think should be or shouldn't be. I mean, I have lots of thoughts about how I'd do things differently, but the fact is I don't run it. I'm not on the broadcast team. I provide stats and numbers and do my bit to assist where I can, how I
payroll.
can. So, you know, I can have all the opinions under the world. And, you know, we always talk in our office about, oh, did you see this and did you see that and would you do this and you could do that differently. There's a lot of those things, but there's also a way of how you can implement them, how you can suggest them. Sometimes it's better to go to the people direct and have a chat rather than, you know, chatting to a podcast audience like we could here. If you really want to see the thing change or the outcome occur, life sometimes is about approach, which you tend to learn when you've been on the planet for a few more years.
Like even that's a bit of an insult to say when you've been on the planet for a week, like we're immature or we don't know what we're talking about. I'm kind of like, dude, it's just, and I messaged him and I said everything I'm saying tonight. And I said, like, you can say whatever the fuck you want about me. You're never going to get a legal letter from me. Speak your mind. If you think I'm shit, at least have the balls to say, Scott, I think you're shit. Speak like on the pod, just say it. Because it annoys me more when people like moan about it. And then as well to say, he clearly bitches and moans. I mean, he did it to me leaving Gold Coast years ago, talking about the sport and the broadcast, right? Would never say it publicly. And this happened on the weekend. There's people that literally shit can each other in broadcast while the other person's live when they make a mistake. I'm like, well, how's that constructive to making the show better? We're better off saying it to each other's face or providing a 1,200 word report on a Monday about the weekend and what I thought could have been better or could have been different rather than not talking about it and then nothing changing just to stay mates and make sure that when you supply your number, you still get paid.
Nothing comes out of that.
So anyway, now we can move on.
You know, when you said it, I thought, okay, yeah. There's a little bit, little bit interesting, wouldn't it? But anyway, let's tuck into the rest of the stuff. So anyway, I thought you did a good job on broadcast for what you're allowed to do, mate. You didn't fuck it up, as I said. Well done. See if you get another crack.
We'll see.
All right, what do we got? You want to go into Richmond first, mate, for NASCAR?
Austin Dillon. Dillon got the dub.
RCR.
I actually screenshot his position as well. He is one spot behind in the championship in the points, not the playoff, but in the points behind Shane.
Really?
And no one seems to be like, oh, he shouldn't be in the playoffs. Does he?
Well, he's not a road course specialist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, hang on. He's 25th in points and he just won. I haven't seen one headline about this guy should not be in the playoffs. Whereas every time Shane has a little bit of success, it's like, shouldn't be in the playoffs. Well, there's a guy that has just won an oval race who's actually behind him in points.
And Shane's, it's in there. I know it's further down, but I'm not going to scroll. He's like 22nd, I think, in the points or something.
24th.
24th. So it's not like he's nowhere either.
No.
Like he's got some people who've been doing it a long time behind him and stuff.
Yep.
And it's his first year full-time cup.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right. But, I mean he's obviously doing fine, but it is funny to see the headline was a bit... Oh, sorry, there are no headlines about it. I feel like the headlines about Shane are a little bit harsh when even like Dale Jr. is talking a lot about there should be maximum 2 road courses, I think.
Yeah, but that's just because they can't do them.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like, you got 30 ovals. What's wrong with just 6 road courses? A small percentage of your championship. I think you still got the heart of your sport going strong. But, they did that full speed documentary on Netflix, and I think there's got to be a strategy around growing the sport outside America. Yeah. And the road courses are relevant elsewhere. So I think it helps the sport. And I would love to ask Dale if it was different winners every road course, would you still be saying the same thing? Probably not. It's just that one guy's really good. And I've always thought it's not about changing the rules to stop someone's success. It's about just lifting and trying to beat them. You know what I mean? You can always clip someone's wings by changing the car or eliminating the road courses or whatever it might be, but it's up to others to do better and outperform someone.
Yeah, I just think it's all... I totally agree with you, mate. They want to grow the sport other than America. They need... Everywhere else runs on circuits.
Yep.
They're the only ones that run in circles compared to the rest of the world. So, yeah, NASCAR aren't stupid. They want to grow the sport.
Yeah.
It's a big money sport. But what did you think of the Richmond race? So short track, generally short track racing I find can be more entertaining.
I didn't mind it.
A bit of bump and grind. There wasn't as much action as I would have expected.
Yeah, I watched it live and I sort of thought that. I was a bit, I don't know, I think the short track, and I don't know anything about the cars. Like, I'm not driven one. But when you hear Denny talk about them and Dale, they say that the short track racing's kind of where they used to get their best racing, but at the moment it's the new car's not conducive to it. So I don't know if... Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was as exciting as I was expecting, being a shorter track. I'll be honest, like the road courses like Watkins and stuff, I think, because they all said they're just boring. Nothing's happening. I'm like, I actually think they're
the racing's great.
Fairly exciting. Like when I compare it to the short track, and I watched it live on Monday morning, I just thought...
It was Sunday.
Sunday. I thought, I don't know, man. I think the road course is just as exciting as this, and I actually like that they have stages on the road courses because it mixes up the strategy and it forces cars onto alternate strategies, So you actually do see people come through on a better tyre and you see the grid mixed up if you don't stay out and take the stage win. So I actually, I don't know. I think that they've obviously got the stages in to help with the oval racing as well to spice it up, but it helps the product equally on the road courses. So I'm probably against the ovals still and more pro on the... I know it'd be great to see different winners, but I don't think the race is boring on the road courses.
No.
I thought the oval was probably a little bit worse at Richmond than what we've seen.
No, and I think like a NASCAR race normally should be pretty exciting because they ship everyone so often.
Yep.
You actually never know who's going to win anyway because generally whoever's leading will get sent at some point or something happens. So, I mean, sometimes I get with the new car, they're a little bit negative around it, causing the racing to be not as good as the previous gen car, which I tend to agree. And I think obviously all the drivers are saying, so obviously it's factual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're ever boring. And I think, we're going there this week. So I think live, I'm sure I've been to some back in 2014 at Phoenix and Miami and they were awesome.
Yeah, right.
I think it's going to be, it's definitely a great live sport, but I think it is good on TV. But yeah, to your point, I love their road course stuff. I think it is super entertaining. And even though they might think it's boring, I think it's fun watching half of them chatter ears into a corner and fire off every 2 laps anyway. So,
yeah.
I mean, that in itself creates entertainment.
So we can get, I guess the driving standard is something we'll get to. But I'm with you. I think that you see more driver error resulting in accidents and action than you probably do on the ovals. The ovals, you kind of see maybe they'll take the draft, or like the downforce away from someone, and they'll get them loose and there might be an accident. But it's rare to see a driver make a big error and wreck. You know, the ovals, you kind of, if it wasn't for the stages, you could almost run green. Like I think that would have happened at Richmond. It would have been a long period of green without those cautions.
One thing, just talking on the entertainment piece, that I thought was interesting was Bowman blowing up on the radio about Shane not letting him pass when he was battling for the lead.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, his theory was, you know, they're Chevs. He should be pulling over for him and getting out of the way and things like that. Would you ever take on that, mate? Like, I run the take that, well, Shane's still racing.
Yeah. It's different over there, though, isn't it? Because of the Chev, like
the
Ford,
manufacturer,
Chev,
teammate sort of thing, even though they're different. But he's blown up Deluxe. Did you hear it? And he's like,
I did, yeah.
And he's like, we're Hendricks. They're not going to do shit for us. So I don't know if there's a beef between, I'm sure we'll find out when we get over if there's a beef between Trackhouse and Hendricks. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought there must be, because it did seem odd that, you know, Shane wasn't racing anyone and was a lap down. And you didn't give him the exit, because I know he was moaning about not getting the exit of the corner so he could get a run.
Because Shane was running high.
Yeah.
That's the only place his car would work. So maybe SVG just, one, didn't want to lift, and two, didn't want to run down the bottom or anything or get out of the way because he was in his groove. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I reckon there has to be something going on between them, surely, because, I would have thought in the States they're pretty good with the Chev. You know, the manufacturers love looking after each other, and it was a little bit odd.
Well, and Sean P just put in our Patreon comments here that SVG was racing for a spot with the 77, and that's where I'm like, well, he's still in his own race.
But they did say that he had a gap at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out next week. We'll ask him.
Yeah,
Find out if there's a beef. Wouldn't surprise me. There's beefs up and down the lane.
But Austin Dillon got the win, as you said, mate. RCR, they've been struggling. So that'll be a big boost for the RCR guys. And they I think he won there last year too, so they were pretty keen to get back there.
Yeah.
So it's big for Austin Dillon. The Dillon brothers have had a pretty big year with their in-season challenge, and then Austin winning on the weekend. So that was pretty cool.
And then Shane, 14th from 27th. He had a really strong race, actually.
Yeah, Shane, that's his equal best oval finish. So that was good. So everyone that said Shane can't drive on ovals, eat a big bag of them because he's coming. So, that was good.
Playoffs now as well. So Dillon is in, and we've still got Tyler Reddick and Alex Bowman almost outside. They're 15-16. They're plus 60 points and plus 89 inside.
On the bubble.
And then Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece. They talk about Ryan Preece a lot, but I don't really see him like right there. You know, like they're always talking about Preece needs a win, and we get it. But there's also Buescher, Bowman, Reddick.
Kyle Busch. There's a lot of people need a win.
And Reddick on the weekend, like I kind of thought he might have been a shot.
Yeah.
And then he got wrecked. So, and the car didn't seem like it was ever the same again.
Bubba looked strong too, but then he had the pit stop drama.
Yep. What do you think of other teams being able to put the wheel back on?
That was really cool. Actually, I'm glad we got that up. That was cool. He stopped out the front of another Toyota pit.
Yeah.
It was a joke, so they helped him. It was Chase Briscoe's crew, I think, from memory. Very cool. I mean, we've seen that in supercars, though, mate, when a car needs a push or something, or, you know, it's on fire or something's going on. Like, motorsport is very much a little family, and if you see someone in trouble, you jump the fence and you help them. So, but it was very cool that they jacked him up, banged it on. It was cool that the tyre landed right, so they could actually grab it and just put it back on.
I saw one of the mechanics jump the wall, grabbed a nut,
to
be able to put it on for him. He almost didn't lose much time.
So that was pretty cool, but unlucky for Bubba because he was looking pretty strong.
Yeah. Now we did miss Watkins. Obviously, Shane got the win there. Won about 11 seconds in the end or something. It was actually pretty wild. I thought it was a good race, but there was also, we posted this on socials, which was the Shane Connor incident, but also Austin Hill in the Xfinity Series.
Didn't that just cause an absolute shit fight? There were so many torch cars.
Couldn't believe it, dude. Long, skinny one on the right. You always say that. Use it. Yeah. And they don't like to lift, do they? Like, I feel like when you're rejoining, you're the only person that has the full view of what's in front, like what's happening, and you do have the ability to just feather out of the throttle. No, and not wreck 16 cars.
You lift, you lose. That's how they live their lives.
I can't believe it, dude. I do not understand it.
Yeah, a lot of torn up gear.
Even knowing you've just come off the back of a suspension, surely you'd be like, if I just lift, I won't get, at least even questioned about this. I just lift, fight another day. They're just like not that smart.
Interesting too.
I didn't think it was that good.
Like the commentators, if you asked 5 ex-NASCAR drivers, you'd probably get a different response from all of them. I've found like that they do have differing views, which is great.
Yep.
But yeah, they were kind of like, I don't think that's Austin's fault. And then some were like, what do you mean? And like, yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. Like at some point when you're on someone's rear bar,
Yeah.
like there's a point where you have to pull out and pass them or lift. Otherwise, you're going to wreck them,
Yeah.
especially on the exit of a corner.
And just because you have an overlap,
That's the thing. It's such a like, and that was the same with Connors. Connors was like, "Oh, I expect more room." In what, other than America, North America, in what world does the leader have to lift and give room to someone's off the circuit?
yeah.
It just doesn't exist in circuit racing
Yep.
anywhere outside of North America and NASCAR.
Yeah, and I know they don't really have track limits, but
But
you
why
are,
paint the lines then?
But you are well off the track, yeah. Like, and Shane still had some space to the inside, but I just, yeah, I'm with you. Like the car rejoining.
It's a dangerous reentry. Essentially, like this part of the world, I know we're not, and we're different. Like we're looking forward to going over and chatting to some of the guys to understand how, like, what's the thought process, because we've been taught obviously completely different. But in our world, that would have been a dangerous re-entry, and you'd be hung up.
Oh, dude, you'd be crucified for it because we've been there. There's so many times when you are rejoining or you've got an overlap, you can see it happening. Connor chose to. He might have felt guilty. He chose to wreck Shane. There was a conscious decision to wreck him.
Yeah.
And it's not like
It started before that, though. It was conscious to bleed off the brake and roll in hot to get
the run.
and blow the outside of the corner and try and get up alongside him.
Yep. And then Austin Hill as well, conscious decision, he chose to wreck him. I'm sorry, you can tell me whatever you want.
Yeah.
He had the decision to lift or wreck. He chose wreck. And Connor, being a teammate, I'm like, man, like, yeah, maybe Shane could have given you an extra car width. But you made the decision to just put him in the fence. Like,
But yeah, and I also, I don't know what you think, mate, but like when you're side by side with someone and you see them go out of sight and off the track that much, you're like, I'm going to be in front of them anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, the driving stand stuff is interesting, and I know we're keen to chat about it over there with some experts from that side of it, because for us it's just so obvious and so different.
Yeah. And also, how is that not hooking him? Both of those incidents hooked the rear of the car and put the car in the wall.
Yeah.
How come that's not? Because he's still looking at it going.
It's a trajectory thing. Like I think this is what
I get. I know what you're saying because you said last time about the hook, but I'm like, isn't that the same?
Hook and wipe, mate, different over there. You got to get that American mentality, brother.
Isn't the wipe the rear of the bar?
Yes.
Hook is overlap,
No, hook to me is like you hear and then you jink, like you turn
which is what they did to rejoin.
and hook. So, but what I'm saying, the trajectory of his car, he's out here and he's coming like this and he's gone.
So it's more a T-bone than a hook.
He hasn't physically, do you know what I mean, like hooked the wheel into him is what I'm saying. And that's what I like.
But he has, like Austin Hill 100% hooked him.
I'm talking about Connor.
And Connor was turning left, so he's hooked him as well.
Connor's coming back on, yeah.
So both cars, and when you're watching the car.
But it hasn't been a second motion on the wheels, I'm saying. Like he's come from back here and he's turning the wheel. And then as he's come on, I just think he fucked up and misjudged, is what I personally think.
So I don't think he misjudged. The overlap was big. You'd have to be a full amateur, and he's very fucking good.
No,
you
yeah,
misjudge that. You're like, that's a club level mistake. He's one of the best at the moment. There's no way you can say that he misjudged that.
That's
a massive overlap, and you
maybe I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. Either he did or it was intentional. I don't know. But even like listening to him on Door Bumper Clear, they had him on the Monday afterwards, and he's still like he's never going to probably come out and say that I fucked up, but he was still like, oh no, like I didn't do anything wrong. But even his spotter's like, yeah, you wrecked him. And the other spotter's like, yeah, you wrecked him. But so
how is it as well funny? Like they talk about it like
this. It's different. Again, the mentality over there, like cars and stuff over there, mean jack shit. Like
I get that, but that's just like giving away like you're not talking about the cost. I'm saying you have how many fans going for drivers, right? And also there's just justice. It's not about the cost. It's like if you end someone's day. I know they wreck cars, but like when there's a crash, they'll drive full throttle through it. But don't you think that there has to be some kind of ramification for just, driving through people? Because I almost think every one of them's intentional when I watch them. I'm like, man, unless they're just that bad, but I think they're fucking awesome. Like, I'm like, they're not that bad. Like,
no,
you're either amateur and you make mistakes like that, or you're doing it on purpose.
To your point, they can position their car at over 200 mile an hour, a mil off the wall. So they're probably pretty good with their spatial awareness. So
why don't IndyCar wreck like they do?
No, that's what I'm saying.
They choose not to.
So to your point, you're probably right. Like if they can put it this far off the wall on the high line for 200 laps and not graze the side of the car.
Yep.
I just want Serene just reckons I sound like Denny now, benefit of the doubt to Connor while crucifying Hill. And, mate, this is my biased opinion. I personally, I don't like the way Hill races. So,
I
so to me, I'm going to be harder on him than Connor. I think Connor's a star.
Yeah.
And so far, I've only seen him make 1 or 2 mistakes. But every weekend, Hill's binning someone. So, like, there's a common denominator there.
Definitely.
And it's the way he drives. And that's why I probably sound biased.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the 2 incidents and I think they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
I just look at, I'm like, I agree with you with Hill. He does it all the time. And I think that's
And if Connor keeps doing it, then I'll be the same.
Yeah.
I'll be like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah. But I'm like, man, how many times can people wreck each other? Because the other one as well that I put in was Ty Dillon fencing 21. So they went through, I don't know what they call the long right. It was just before where,
It was where
Austin Hill wrecked. It was
Yeah.
right there pretty much.
Yeah.
But again, he was just pushing him because Chase Elliott was slow in front and it held up the 21. And then Ty Dillon got into the back of him and he just stayed in the throttle.
They don't lift.
And they're like, oh, it was the slow Chase Elliott. I'm like, yeah, but hang on. You always say about the intentional, like if it's intentional, they get penalised. All of these are intentional. It's like he had a slow car. Yeah, so he just stayed full throttle and wrecked him. It's not about the damage.
No.
It's about ruining someone's day.
Yeah. I'm sure they learn 2 things when they first learn to speak. It's you lift, you lose, you ain't first, you last. And that to me seems like that's the written passage.
So yeah, they don't care about finishing races.
No, well, to me,
They
it's just like
if you don't win, it doesn't even matter if you finish.
I think it's, I don't know. To me, this is like completely without knowing it or being over this, being entirely there. To me, it looks like from this side, sitting on the couch watching it, that they've got some things they're embedded with. And that's like with the road courses, why they feel like they feel about road courses and they don't feel like they need to go and learn how to right foot brake. Like I'm sure a professional race car driver within a day or 2 should be able to pick it up. They do that much shit on the sim. Like, so it's not that they can't do it. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I think that's the same with the lifting thing. It's not that they can't lift. Of course they can lift their right foot a little bit.
Just choose not to.
They're just like, no, fuck it, I don't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to.
So why is everyone so upset with Hocevar for wrecking people? Like if I race Cup, you'd nearly just go, I'll just wreck everyone. Because you'll win eventually if no one finishes. And you don't get penalised, so you can still win the race. Like watching it as a fan, this is what I don't get. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think,
why is everyone upset with him?
See, I think Hocevar is unfairly judged because some of the instances I've seen with him, it's just hard racing and circumstance, and he's come out the better side of it.
Yeah.
And he always seems to find his way through a little bit, like he's getting good results so I think it's different to like Hill or it's different to other ones out there that have a harsh name.
And then is it McDowell that's his teammate?
Yeah.
He just fenced him not fenced him, but he spun him at turn 1 at Watkins as well. And I was like, man, you just unloaded your teammate.
That to me was like, because they don't choose to learn how to modulate the brake pedal. And once they get the axle hop, they're like, oh, fuck, sorry.
Yeah, they don't know how to use the clutch to stop the rear lock.
Like they just, once it starts, as you know, it's same with any car. Once you start, unless you dip the clutch, you ain't stopping it till you stop down the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think to me it's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Which we don't understand. So that's why we are pumped to get over there and find out why.
Yeah. Because they don't do penalties, eh? Only Austin Hill's penalty. We haven't seen any.
Only when you
have
like
we?
absolutely destroy someone.
So we've only seen the one, I think, which was Austin Hill's suspension.
Did Cindric get a money fine for him hooking at Coda when he hooked? Can't remember who he hooked now. There was talk about, I can't remember if he actually got fined or not, but there was talk that it was going to be a monetary fine for hooking. Again, there was a hook though.
Yep. Hook, not a wipe.
Wasn't a wipe. It was
What
a hook.
about then between Supercars and NASCAR? Do you think it's somewhere in between? Do you think it's NASCAR that's got it right? Because I felt like Queensland Raceway, we were throwing out, I felt like at the start of the year, it looked like we wanted to see people race harder. And then on the weekend, it was like 5-second penalties were kind of being handed out pretty regularly. Even 15 seconds. Well, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Just on that, our hunters are right on it. Ruben and Serene said it was Ty Dillon that got hooked by Austin at Coda.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Bubba and Elliot have had race bans. There you go. Juzzy's into it.
Cindric got 50 points and 50K fine.
There you go. Yeah, I thought there was a monetary fine. Yeah.
That's big, 50,000 US.
Yeah, to answer your question, mate, do I think where's the level for? I think the start of the year was pretty good with supercars, like the first round and things like with the Waters and Brock, SMP clash. Like I thought, I didn't mind how that sort of played out.
I guess they got the opportunity to redress.
And they got the opportunity to race on for a couple of laps, and I think the faster car still won and was going to win anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I'm like you, QR couple, I thought, oh, geez, that was harsh. And then some I thought, no, it was justified. So, I think you should be able to rub and maneuver cars, but not run them off the track.
Yeah.
Is my opinion. And I think where that is, yep, you can run someone up and just make them buzz up slightly and they drop just the one position to you.
Yep.
I think that's hard racing because they're going to probably do it back to you the next corner.
Yeah.
And if you're faster, you're out of the road and you're gone and you deserve to be in front of them anyway.
Yep.
But if you buzz someone up and you run them off and they drop 2 wheels off and they lose 2 or 3 spots and they get a massive disadvantage, then to me that's where the line draws. So
Yeah, I'm with you.
if it's just eye for an eye sort of thing, all good, fair bump, play on. If it's they've lost more than just that one position and they don't get the opportunity to reserve on the next corner or the next lap,
Yep.
you know, because it's been such a disadvantage, then it's probably justified to a penalty or something,
Yeah.
is how I see it.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's how I tend to try and race too. Like small rub, get the job done, gives them the opportunity to do the same thing back if they've got the speed, but then if you serve someone and they drop 4 or 5 spots, then you deserve to get a penalty,
Yeah.
or vice versa if it happens to you. So that's how I think about it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's hard to go somewhere close to the way NASCAR race, especially because their point system almost doesn't matter. Like there's 16 cars and there's a lot of different winners too. So that's probably why they're like you're first or you're last. Like if you ain't first, you're last comes in because there's 16 spots and there's probably going to be 16 different winners. Whereas we've got Brock's won, I think he said since Tasmania, he's won 2 of the 3 races. So we don't have that many different winners. So the
We only
points
had 4 winners this year, have we, or something?
probably.
5, yeah.
So like the points for us mean a lot, I guess. Whereas NASCAR can say, well, you were 16th, you weren't really getting playoff points for that anyway. So it doesn't matter as much. Whereas for us, we're trying to get to the top 10. So when you do disadvantage someone a few spots, you probably do need to penalise them. Maybe that's the difference as well, which is why you can't just take it race by race and be like, oh, well, I'm out of that one. Didn't really matter. I had nothing to gain from it.
And there's also like NASCAR, there's no podium. You only get a trophy for first.
Yep.
There's no runner-up, where we have a podium. So I think that also has an effect on how they go racing as well, because the only way they get any glory, where here you can have an okay day and finish 2nd or 3rd and you're still, your sponsors are still stoked because you're on the podium, you get to spray champagne, you get to take something home, and they don't unless they win. And I actually think that creates some of the entertainment that NASCAR has, because you've only got one shot to do the business.
Yeah. I don't think it's achievable for us to do what they do, really, is it?
No, I don't think so. And I wouldn't want it to change, but I do think that adds to some of the drama they have.
What do you think of Cameron Hill squeezing Zach Bates?
Yeah, I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. Kind of like, I was actually like flabbergasted. I didn't expect it. I thought, side draft, bit of a bump to say, oh, mate, piss off. This is my corner. But then
like the second one was
the second bite of the cherry and, fuck off.
Yeah.
And put him on the grass. I was like, oh, that's going to be done for sure.
Yeah.
And so it should be. And
I was surprised. Like, we were talking going up to when Brock was doing burnout, walking down the lane, and a few of us were like, oh, man, it's almost a one race sit out style. We thought it was that bad because the move that Zach put on, like I watched Zach's onboard on Monday and I'm like, man, he was like up the inside. There's not even a contact from front to rear or anything. Like he just was down the inside.
no reason to be upset.
And then Cam Hill just completely lost it. Like, man, he fucking rammed the kid. Like, he drove him. And we didn't just squeeze him either. He swerved at him twice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and some of the people that were like, he should probably get banned up are some pretty good steerers. Some like people that have been around and they're like, that should be at least like points on a license or some kind of system that a drive-through penalty was harsh, but I'm like, man, I think it showed the potential of him wrecking someone intentionally, and that should be fucking shut down immediately. That's Austin Hill level of aggression for no reason, literally no reason. And he only messaged
Something to do with the last name, you reckon?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a Hill. But then I think he, messaged the next day and apologised and was like, I slept on it. And I'm like, that makes it even worse. The fact he needed to sleep on it.
Yeah, obviously it's a bit of red mist got to him by the looks of it.
Fucking bad.
Yeah, I don't know about like a ban or such, but I definitely think like something serious is in, because unfortunately for him, the damage has been done. Like people now go, oh, is that someone that I'd want driving my car?
Yeah, it didn't.
Like, so I think he's kind of, which he'll recover from, I'm sure. But I think that is probably more worse than having to sit out. I think if you're going to do something, maybe like a monetary fine or something like that, some way of penalising rather than a sit out.
Even if just lost the points from the race, though.
Something.
Like all of them.
I think it was worth something, and then maybe a signature on his license to say, oh, that happens again. Like,
Yeah.
I can't actually remember what the rule is if it's 2 or 3 signatures, and then there's a ban with Motorsport Australia
remember.
stuff. I think maybe 3 signatures. And
I remember karting, I got a few, but I don't think I've ever had a signature on my license.
I think I could be wrong, but I think it's 3 signatures from like a steward of you being an absolute knucklehead. And
Right, okay.
You have a sit out.
Quickly, mate, I heard the rumours. I heard Hill is actually signed at BJR, done deal.
Yeah, I reckon that's done.
LeBroc's going to MSR, and Reynolds is all but signed. I think it's done for another year extension. And I think there's talk around him signing on as a co-driver, so it might be like 1 year plus co-ing is what I've heard, and I think that'd be a good move. I think if they did that, that would be good. I don't know that they have someone in the wings yet that would step up and take it.
And go better than what Dave can. He's still clearly capable after his pole and things like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was worth mentioning. And then I popped in here as well, the Cindric going to Adelaide, but we've already talked about that. Now, qualifying for race 23, I just put in some honourable mentions and good and bad.
Yep.
But Kai Allen, I thought on the weekend, he did really well in the first race and then raced like that was the best race I've seen him do, the battle with Ryan Wood.
Yes.
Front straight. I love that. I love seeing the 2 young blokes going at it, just fighting like.
See, that was the difference between the Hill and the Bates one was a prime example. Like Woody was textbook, like chased him across the road, got him to the white line and then stopped.
Yeah.
That to me was like textbook, aggressive, hard, fair racing.
Yeah. Every driver is fine with that.
Yeah. And then you saw the complete of what's not acceptable, which was...
Yeah. It was almost like swerving though. It wasn't even like gentle squeeze. That was like, fuck off.
Yeah. But that was how it should be done. Like what Woody did was textbook.
Yep.
So
and then, and then I've put in there that he forgot because he qualified 17th and 22nd. And I know at the end of the weekend, they're still talking about his amazing run he's having at the moment, but 17th and 22nd is not great because Ryan Wood went on to qualify. I mean, he was the fastest forward all weekend. Qualified 3rd, I think, in the first one, and then qualified 2nd for race 2. So that's the level of consistency I think you got to get to. Maybe he ragged a bit of a shitbox up there in the first one. I don't know, but that last race, I feel like it's like Cam. He had an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
You can't forget, everyone forgets very quickly, you can't forget that safety car is the only reason those guys went from 25 seconds behind the leader to the front of the field. So I think Kai, he might do well at the Bend and Bathurst, but I think he's going to have a challenge ahead of him if he can't fix his consistency there, because I think he got a little bit lucky in race 3, but 17th and 22nd is a bit of a who forgot after his pace and his fight through on Saturday's first race.
I think a notable mention there's Aaron Cameron in 9th in BRT.
Yes, only slightly ahead of JC, but like really both BRT cars did well. But yeah, to make it through and be ahead of JC is very good.
Yeah, they're starting to, looks like they're starting to find their feet a little bit at BRT, and that's going to be a good thing, I think.
I'm just laughing because Aldo's popped in the chat. How was the commentary, Scott? Definitely don't need to go back there again.
Clearly missed the last 45-minute rant that we had, did you?
I've calmed down a little bit since then, so I don't need to go back there. Well, yeah.
Who did you think didn't have a great quali, mate?
Will Davo.
Oh, yeah, 24th. That's very unlike Will.
Well, it isn't it? At some point, we've got to start saying, like, Davo's having a hard run.
Yeah.
I feel like Brody's maybe overachieving in the car at the moment. I don't think they've really, like, has DJR really got on top of it yet? Like, I feel like all year they've had glimpses of pace. You know, I know actually Townsville was good for Davo. He was I think one of only 2 to qualify in the shootout in the top 10 all 3 races. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes Brody's getting something from nothing at the moment, and Davo's he's struggling, man, and doesn't do a driver's confidence any good when your teammate is beating you most of the time. Yeah,
I still firmly stick behind our you don't forget philosophy, and I honestly think DJR does still have some work to do. And okay, it looks maybe bad because Brody seems to be able to still polish a turd a little bit, and that's just obviously a skill set that Brody's got. And you've seen that in drivers over the years. Some are amazing when the car's awesome and very, very hard to beat, and then aren't so good when the car's out of the window. And then some guys are pretty good when the car's out of the window, and then they'll be great when it's...
Yeah.
So you do see that sometimes, and maybe that's just what we're seeing. I'm not saying that's what it is, but potentially that's what you got.
And then Matty Payne was probably... I picked him. I actually thought... I remember in our pre-brief saying, I reckon there's a chance that he'll out-qualify, like he'll be front 3 or 4. But then I said I thought Penrite might make a mistake in the lane, and that would be where will get them back, and because they were second and third in the points. But yeah, I didn't think Maddie's our favourite. Well, I think we both picked him for the finals, both of us.
Yeah,
He's been very fast recently, so I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I think Groves have good momentum, and I think they got great people, and I think Matty's a great driver, and same with Kai. I think once everything falls into line, they'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah. And then, Woody in race 2, so they qualified pretty much back to back. They were 2 10-minute sessions, by the way.
Yeah, the second one wasn't 8 minutes, guys.
Yeah, but I did think that, Woody just, again, did really well. I've got in a talking point a bit later. We can probably get into it now. I feel like there's just some fine-tuning that's still required there for the young bloke, because I think on Sunday he let his emotions get the better of him. And
This was the wet one too, right?
It was, yeah.
This is where it started raining. Richie, 4th.
Yeah.
Big disparity though,
Well, there was people that didn't do laps.
yeah.
Moster did a 29.9, and he was up a lot of times and kept bearing it. So there was just people that didn't get their lap in, really. Like Thomas Randall, 138.4.
Yeah, it's fair way.
18 seconds off the pace. So, and that was just because they went off at turn 1, that first lap, remember? And then the rain got heavier. So,
Yeah, I was more going off the ones that did it on lap 8
oh, yeah.
and lap 9. I wasn't going to count for Chas and
Oh,
Thomas.
sorry.
But 1.9 seconds back to 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a wet, but that surprised me a little bit.
It is a big gap. And it would have been hard on slicks, man. Like when that came down and they did the time
Yeah,
on
of
slicks,
course.
would have been
Track
yeah, I'm with
where
you.
they were, and
It's a big gap for sure. And Richie was, again, like you mentioned it straight away, you picked that up, because when it rains, he just seems to somehow find his way to the front. I know it's still 1.9 seconds, but no one else managed to put the lap together, and Richie did again.
And a lot of people that they call the wet weather specialists didn't. Every time it rains,
Everyone's a wet. Don't they love it? They love
but
it.
like they always talk about Chaz being a wet weather specialist.
Yep.
And like he had a few offs and things.
Yeah.
Which everyone does. Like shit's hard when it's wet.
Yep.
But yeah.
I mean, the good thing is for Richie, it was dry when he made the top 10.
Yeah.
So he made it through to top 10 before it rained, and then it rained. So he still had pace. Cam Hill was another one I picked. I think I said maybe for a win this weekend or a podium. 22nd in race 24. So Cam Hill was probably a bit of a surprise there. Cam Waters, though, in this one was P5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he obviously had top 10 speed, because then come Sunday, 19th.
Yeah.
So maybe got something from nothing there, but yeah, Tickford's in a bit of drama, I think, at the moment, because they're a long way off being the top forward. I think at the moment Walkinshaw is very clear. Well, not very clear, actually, because Matty Payne is often up there. But for both cars, I think it's probably Walkinshaw is looking like the quickest forward team.
Even BRT have been like, on Sunday there, James Courtney was 13th. And Waters was 19th.
Yep.
So yeah, WA, and why I say that is because I'm backing your point up with WU, because they're sharing intel.
Yeah, true.
BRT got WAU Tech Alliance. So
And they've improved a lot since, I think it was Darwin they started that. So they have definitely improved a lot there. Race 25, Batesy was the first on used tyres in the shootout. So definitely worth an honourable mention there. I think the young lad did very well. I was disappointed in the shootout that we don't just, I keep saying it, we should all have green tyres for the shootout, because no one would be saving tyres in quali, and everyone would just throw the best at it, see what they've got, and then when you get to the top 10, you get a handback set. You don't get to keep them for the weekend, but it's just literally a fan display. You go out there, bang a lap in, off you go.
just on the Tickford thing, because it's just popped up in our chats here from Liam, and it's a fair point. He says, has Tickford forgotten the last few rounds? Now, they're trying to sell, like Tickford's trying to sell at the moment. Do you think that's causing any like, it's strange that I just find it strange that they do seem to have, from the start of the year to now.
Yeah, I mean, they literally dominated, didn't they, at the start?
It's just strange that
the teams, I mean, if you're looking at selling a business or a portion of it, are you making sure the profit margins don't look as bad as they used to, so you're not investing what you probably need
that's
to?
what I mean, like businesses always try and...
I don't know,
Yeah.
It's literally none of my business there, I'm just saying, but is that something they could be doing? I don't know.
It's just a topical thing I thought I'd raise, so when people at the pub chatting, put your tinfoil hats on. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
What else in the shootout? Yeah, you were saying, mate, they need to roll out a set of greens. If you're in the shootout, you get a set and you got to hand them back after the shootout. It's as simple as that.
I think it'd be cool. I just want to see, because Bates being in his first weekend, to make top 10 shootout, awesome. But then to roll up and not have him, I was like, I think he was fourth in the shootout. Fifth, sorry. And being the first on used, I thought, shit, imagine if he had greens, like whether you could have seen a rookie on the front row a wild card on the front row. That's actually pretty impressive.
I think you probably, well, he would have been better than where he was. So, yeah, I reckon you're a fair chance of he would have been potentially top 3 anyway.
Yeah.
We saw it on the test day after the round. That car ended up top of the timesheets.
Yep.
I'm not sure how relevant that is. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I'm assuming everyone ran a decent tyre at some point.
Not really.
Oh, no?
No, it was pretty hard. Like
Okay.
Like Woody, obviously.
Scrap that.
Well, like you look at Woody's going to finish on top because look how many extra sets of tyres he has this year.
But, oh, sorry, I thought the Lowndes and Bates car did finish on top.
No, it was an 8.8 from Ryan Wood.
Oh, must have been.
But like Ryan Wood would have so many quality-only tyres probably from being a rookie. He gets the extra sets. Like I did most of the day on 200 tyres. Like it was.
Okay. But you are an exceptional young talent.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I think there was a lot of people just running nothing. Like Matty Payne was like one of the slowest cars out there, so I just don't think he had tyres.
Back to the top 10 shootout though, was good to see. Premier did have flashes. Obviously, their test track, we know that doesn't make a huge difference, but they did have flashes of brilliance over the weekend. Like James Golding was 7th in the shootout.
Yep.
And then obviously Richie had times in the 10 as well. So they had flashes of speed as well, which was encouraging for those guys. Virtual safety car, what do you reckon of this, Scotty?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I saw one literally I was like one comment saying like the Sunday race is a variable that made the race exciting. So what's wrong with it? It's literally like 9 out of 10, it's going to be bad. Yeah. The virtual safety car, I don't know what the answer is. Roland Dane always said at the beginning, it's like if you just enforced proper penalties, if you speed in that sector where there's a yellow, you get a PLP or something. Like a proper, if the category enforced said it's compulsory, you have to run the time gain or loss on your dash. So you have a reference time in your dash. It can be any lap time, but you've got to give up a minimum of, say, 2 seconds in that sector. We could all do it because you would have the time. You'd know straight away, okay, I need to give up a minimum time here. That would prevent anyone from speeding through that sector. But I guess then you run into the issue of recovery vehicles entering the track, trying to get to it. So there is no silver bullet there. Yeah. But the other one is like the recovery took too long and they ran multiple laps under that 80K. So it meant people could complete 2 CPS stops under it, which that shouldn't be allowed either. I feel like it'd be very easy to just say you can only complete 1 CPS stop because then it still would have gone green and they would have had to pit at least once under green. I think being able to complete both of them, and especially with this new tyre, there's like no deg. So they just get
finished under safety car anyway, didn't it?
No, that was the race 2.
Oh, sorry, race 2. Yeah.
Race 1. Sorry, that was race 1. Race 3 finished green, but it was the safety car just trundling around that allowed everyone to pit, and it was about 12.5 seconds quicker to pit under virtual safety car. I was surprised in a way that not everyone just stayed out. Like that's what's going to happen come Enduros if they don't. And there is talk of doing 20 k's an hour in the pit lane. That's one thing they're looking at doing. If you pit under virtual safety car, you might have to do 20, but you can't because the car can't idle it. I think it's 1,400 RPM. Can
they just not close the lane under that so you can't come in?
Yeah, but then you just have everyone pit the start of the window.
Yeah.
You still need some, like if you close the lane, everyone would just pit at the start to mitigate the risk. When the pit window opens, you kind of would have to because otherwise you run the risk of...
If it is, you can't, then you go,
Yeah, it would probably still be better. Like people would maybe run the risk of going longer and then it's your own, I guess, but...
It would stop one of the problems they're facing.
Yeah.
Like cars doing 20k an hour in the lane would just look shit too.
I don't think we can do it. And also, like I did it on the ride day and coming in, you think, right, so you get on the brakes and you slow the car down to the lane. When it's 40, you usually drop to like 36 or 34 or something and then you speed back up to 40. When it was 20, there's a couple of times I dropped to like 10.
Yeah, it'd be hard to...
So there's going to be people ram me.
Yeah.
You're literally coming to almost a complete stop and the car behind you coming in is meant to avoid you somehow. And then when I went to go, the RPM's so low, the thing's like it's fucking 1,400 RPM. It doesn't want to move.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a fix.
They would have to, try and... I'd have to tune them for that. Like, it'd have to be a second button or something that bumps up the idle or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it'd be a second button, I don't know how you could, maybe change the idle, but...
That was one thing I thought with when you were saying, about the time loss in that sector. Like, could they have a second button that is the 80K button or something that they have to, by the time they get to that zone where the flag point is...
Has to be engaged.
And then once they get to the green, then they can disengage. And that way, whether it be 60, 80, whatever the speed is... Through that zone, it's just a second button, bang, through that section.
It's just the recovery vehicles that's still the issue in the other 2 sectors.
Yeah, and then you go, so because of recovery, you need to be doing at least 40 or under, but then that causes the concertina effect.
No, you can do 80, but I'm saying, like, if you're in Sector 1 doing 250, and there's a truck on the exit or something, that's the risk.
Oh, we're just saying the car's getting out there. Yeah.
So like, yeah,
You're saying the
'cause
recovery
it's not
car
just the
going out
incident.
there.
It's like medical cars trying to get back to the pit lane.
Yeah.
So if everyone disengaged and then sped up again,
Yeah.
you could hit a truck towing a car. You could hit a medical car. That's
Yeah.
what they're trying to stop, I think. So I get it. I think what they've done is better for safety for sure.
Yeah.
You just run into the issue of it ruining strategy.
Yeah, it is a hard thing to fix
Yeah.
when you're trying to just say, because depending on circumstance, where they are at the point on track, how
Yeah.
fast it is.
Oh man, they've got to do something because I sort of feel like for the endurance events, you need to get rid of it. I don't think at the
I
moment.
think it's just a genuine safety car. I just prefer it. I just think it.
Yeah, I think you can race to the line, but if you get done in that sector, there has to be a proper penalty. Like RD said, that's probably the best way to do it. I think if you're seen to be driving reckless, like, because no one gets penalties. Like, I've never heard of anyone under safety car.
I have.
Who?
In Super 2, Bryce Ford at Bathurst, there was one beached at the chicane and he won the race. And the last lap,
really?
they just ran double wave yellows, I think it was, down at Chase. And on the last lap, he got the lap record through, like on that lap. And they actually, I think they stripped him of the win. Or they tried to anyway. I can't remember if they got
I
overturned.
might remember that, yeah.
Because he was driving for Matty White in the Nissan. And he just hosed them all weekend. But he
I remember
went
that,
lap
actually.
record
You're right.
the last lap. And that's the only time I've heard of it, I think.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he did go lap record with the car.
It's
and
probably a little bit obvious. Bit too obvious.
And he was well up the road, but yeah.
Yeah, don't have the solution. Keep it going in the comments. Someone might have it.
Yeah.
It does just spoil the strategy, and I'm just worried about the Enduros because right now, as it stands,
We cannot have a Bathurst like last year, mate. Oh
but
my
even the
God.
bend, there's no deg.
Yeah.
The bend has no tyre wear.
Ben runs the risk of being a snoozer anyway, just from the nature of the circuit, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we're running a tyre that's worse for racing, I think, the 25 tyre. So
Yeah.
you'll just stay out, wait till everyone, and it's also more of an advantage for the leader.
That's interesting. Sorry, mate, to interrupt, but Hayden Giannetti, I hope I said that right, mate, said WEC have time stops under virtual safety car.
It's a good idea. So you stop for a minimum time.
Yeah, so that, I didn't know that.
You might gain like 2 seconds or you might lose 2, but yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about increasing the virtual safety car speed.
Speed to 100 or something. But then again, you come across that, like you saw at Sandown, mate, you said it, I think, on one of our shows. People were going through turn 4 at 80.
Trying to maintain 80.
and
they
like
spun.
Cricky actually spun the thing, I
Yeah.
think, on the limiter. So
Imagine coming down the elbow and you're like, oh, I can still do 100. How fucking close can I do?
Lachlan France barrel the thing into the
Yeah.
wall and cause another safety car.
So it is, yeah. I don't mind the idea of that WEC idea.
Yeah. I didn't know that, mate, so thank you for that. Again, this is where the hunters are awesome. But yeah, I agree. You need a rule set that doesn't restrict strategy.
Yep.
And that's why it's good that they're now changing the co-driver starting thing and all that stuff. But yeah, we just can't have another Bathurst like last year.
Yeah, yep. Someone popped in our chat as well. What do drivers have to do to beat Brock? This one's not on our list, but I like the question. It's
Be better.
it's a fucking hard one at the moment, isn't it?
Well, we know what he loves karaoke, so obviously you got to go
Yeah.
out to a karaoke bar. You got to stop drinking piss.
Yeah, you can't even
So I'll
spike
take
his
this
drinks.
away
He
from
doesn't-
you,
He
mate.
doesn't drink.
And you got to love the grind and just good work ethic.
Yeah, it's crazy. I honestly think, everyone's just, you have to work so hard because, like I said on our pod, he loves the grind. He loves working hard and trying to be better every day. And
It's cliche as, mate, but how many great athletes, not just drivers, athletes have said hard work beats talent every time.
yeah, and when you're talented and work hard,
That's right. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, you can't be stopped. So,
it is on everyone else. It's one of those things, and it's like with Shane with the road course. It's not about any changes or anything. Like, you just got to
how bad do you want
find
it?
a way to.
What is your want? I used to have this trainer used to always tell me, like, when you're training stuff, like, how big is your want?
David Goggins.
Nah. But it was,
How do you want it?
no, like, not in that type of way. Like,
I
but
know what you mean, yeah.
it's a good thing to go, fuck, I really want, like, how much do I think about motor racing every second day? Cool. So get off
Yep.
your ass and go do this or whatever. Yeah, it's hard, but it'll be worth it. Or
Yep.
it is a true thing. And that's, I think Brock obviously has a lot of that. And that's why all you can do is admire the guy. I think anyone, like, you can't shit can him for being good. It was like Scotty Mack when he was dominating. I'm sure he was working his ass off. Same
Yeah.
with SVG, working his ass off.
Yep.
So you can't shit can him for it. Like, good on him.
Yeah. And, we saw Brody, for instance, rise to the plate last year with Erebus and they won.
Yeah.
It can be done. You just got to, tick all the boxes. And I hope, we've got the Bend and Bathurst coming up. I hope it can be myself and Will. But I don't think it's going to be, Yeah, like Bathurst isn't always the fast car that wins the race.
No,
it can be that place. So
Bathurst is different.
I think there's opportunity at Bathurst for a different winner, and even the Bend. You know, there's obviously some variables with co-drivers starting and stuff, first time in a while.
I can't wait.
There could be some stuff that I hope mixes it up because, like you said, the nature of the circuit plus this new tyre they're running, it might not be setting it up for an absolute banger, but we could be wrong.
The risk with the Bend is because of the nature, if there's no safety cars and it runs green for a lot of it and stuff, and people just spread out into their own little speed bubbles,
Yep.
it will just be like watching a practice session.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe they'll need to throw a couple of debris flags or something to bring everyone back together if that happens.
Maybe.
I'll be there with the Trans Am. I might just have to lob a water bottle off the straight or something.
What about the pit stop challenge? I'm a little bit on the fence about this whole challenge now. So Final Four is locked in. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be all the cars that aren't in contention taking 2 tyre stops. Like Jackson Evans was in a crash and they pretty much just fought to get the car on track and do a 2 tyre stop and try and maintain their position in the pit stop challenge.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they didn't make the rules. They didn't think about the rules enough when they set them because it should have been done on four tyre stops or something. There should have been, so this doesn't happen. I still think BJR would have been in there anyway.
Definitely, yeah.
But obviously you've got teams like Triple Eight that are not in it, and we've seen in the races they have had really fast stops. Same with Erebus generally have had quite good stops as well. They're well out of it as well. So I think
you look at like DJR is last
in
teams, then it's Team 18, Premier, Tickford and Penrite. 8, that's 12, 11, 10, 9 and 8.
So the teams that have had, which I think is where you're going with this, the teams that have had wins or podiums are all out of the 4 because they haven't been strategizing for this.
Yeah.
They've been strategizing for a result.
And it's not to say like I personally have been critical of Premier and even on the weekend, sorry, not Premier, of
Groves.
Penrite. Even on the weekend, they lost the lead of the race again with a bad pit stop. Like they were in front of Waters.
Yeah.
They could have reacted with the fuel.
And they were ahead of them. They should have. That blew me away.
It blows me away. So there's still things that teams can do differently. And even DJR, I saw on the weekend, they had some slow stops again. So like to your point, I think BJR is probably first or second anyway.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating. I think when you look at it, because there's 25 grand up for grabs, Supercars make a big deal out of it. I would love it to be like the fastest lap of the race. You've got to be top 15 in the race to be eligible. That's like the 4 tyres. It's got to be a 4 tyre stop or something. You can't just, like if you're last and you pit to take greens and go for fastest lap of the race, you shouldn't get a point, which you don't. That I think they've nailed. But the pit stop one has probably got a little bit of room for improvement.
If it was me, I would probably say if I had to pick what I would have thought the top 4 would be, I would have had, BJR. I would have had Triple Eight. I would have had potentially MSR in there and maybe Tickford or Erebus on top 4 speed of pit stops and how regularly they're performing great pit stops.
Or even WAU.
And potentially WAU as well,
But anyway, I thought that was, I just wanted to mention it because I think it'd be cool if we saw in the future then maybe change the rule to the 4 tyre stop or maybe a certain position in the field so that if you're out of contention, you're not eligible. Something like that because there's a lot up for stakes and also it means a lot to the teams.
Yes.
So there's some pride on the line and I think that you don't want people to not have a shot at it for doing a good job. Like they don't get rewarded for being in contention. They get penalised. And then you want to see the best of the best, not just the guys that had shit races and made it in.
Yeah.
Another
thing that's sort of been brought to attention to come up is the refueling fume issue.
Yeah.
You know, you spoke to a few people within teams, like, so what's going on? I didn't know anything about this. And I sort of got sent some stuff and then you started chatting about it. So maybe just tell the listeners.
Bad, yeah. So they've gone back to the fuel rig. So when everyone was doing their testing on the test day, not the ride day, but the test day, the fumes were killing people. Like our guy at Triple Eight, Dan, has...
and sorry, mate, the fumes from where?
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's obviously from the fuel when they're plugging in, but I don't know how it's getting... I don't know how the fumes are getting in. We always have fumes escape, but...
So it venting out or something and they're able to smell it?
It's not just smell it. I mean, it's making their eyes like they can't see.
Wow.
So we've got a welding helmet with oxygen connected to our guy and he's only just able to last the time of the fuel stop. Like he's just making it and his eyes are on fire. The mechanics are coming in and they are like bloodshot. They're the white in their eyes.
What's different with the rigs from last year, mate?
I don't know. I don't know what's changed. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's talk of teams whether like they try and get the rule in place that they switch the car off under the stop. whether it's like the car is pumping it out, because the cars run rich, I think, when they're stopped.
So that's what I was assuming, is it coming out the pipe?
Yeah, sorry, out the pipe. Yeah, not.
Sorry,
so
I
it's
thought
while they're refueling, but it's coming out the pipe, and I think maybe it's running rich, but then I don't know why that's worse than we've seen in the past. Like,
yeah, I mean the pipe length is different on the Gen 3, but they ran Gen 3 last year, so it's strange that it's different.
and then is it less when the fuel churns in because you're not fueling for as long, and now we're doing like enduro stuff? Like, is that why they're noticing it as much?
It's interesting because I mean, the easiest option would be switch the cars off during the stop when you're fueling. And to me, that would make, like, from Motorsport Australia's point, it'd be like a tick of safety. You know, it's like when you stop and fuel up your car, you got to have the car turned off at the servo. Like, obviously, some teams might be nervous about the car then firing back up, especially in a long race. Once they get hot and things like that, starter motor fails, whatever, shit can go wrong. They're not going to fire again. That's a risk you run.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a fan of turning the cars off.
Yeah.
Because, like we saw what happened with Shane.
I would be nervous as a driver. I'd be nervous as a driver to have to switch it off and then go, fuck, is this thing going to start again, or is it going to engage, properly? Or so I don't know what they can do around that.
I don't know why. Whether the cars are just
unless they put some turn downs on the, like if they have to put a turn down on the exhaust, if it is to deflect the fumes a different direction.
Yeah,
or
but
something.
even then you've got guys changing wheels. Like the mechanics are struggling. And then
That's what I mean. If there's a turn down where it's going around and
but it
down.
won't matter, because then one driver said by the time he dropped, he was nearly out of it. Sitting in the car, the fumes got that bad in the car that when he dropped on the jacks,
So it's not just crew.
he said he was fucked.
It's everyone then.
It's everyone, yeah.
It's the whole vicinity of where the car is.
Yeah. It's almost like, is there a way, like a compulsory extraction fan that's at the bottom of the fuel tower that maybe just sucks it straight to there? Like a really powerful extract. I don't know.
Yeah. You'd start losing bloody rattle guns up the thing, wouldn't you?
But you maybe
They'd have to tie down the
maybe need
mechanics.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I'd never heard of that being a problem, and then it's just popped up recently. People are talking.
You get it at the start of the races. In the old car, you used to get some bad fumes just in the pack with cars around you, but I haven't had it in a while, and I didn't notice it on the ride day. For me, we didn't really do many fuel stops.
So,
but the crew are having a hard time, and then to hear the one driver say when he dropped, he was fucked. He was like, mate, I was.
So they'd almost need to have to come up with like what the drivers have with a carbon filter and like a forced air system somehow trying to.
No, that's what they're running, and it's not enough.
Yeah, and have they got the carbon filters and everything in them?
I'm not sure. It's a welding mask for extraction, yeah. So he had the oxygen with the backpack.
Yeah.
And he said it's just like doing nothing.
Yeah, wow.
This was the fueler. He said, I'm struggling to stand there for long enough to get the fuel in. So I don't know. Anyway, it's what I thought, And we had a couple of DMs as well from teams.
No, that's why I thought,
saying,
good point put in. Let the fans know this is something that they're trying to rectify before the Enduro. So, yeah, it's interesting. So there may be some more changes, and if there is, it'll be around that issue.
Yeah, I think we'll have to do something. All right, we'll run through a few of these. And, thanks for everyone for sending them in as well. Appreciate it. We'll run through a few of these, mate.
Hey, boys. It's Ben here. First-time caller, long-time listener. Just a question regarding the ridiculousness out of the US regarding Shane making the playoffs. All the rubbish they were carrying on about the fact that he didn't deserve it. But you've got Josh Berry, who's only had one win, who was just ahead of him, and now you've got Austin Dillon, who's got one win and behind him. Don't mention anything about them.
Yes, please.
I find that absolutely ridiculous. Secondly, Elliot, well done on the result on Sunday in the Enduro. Nice P5, I think it was. And also the overtime in supercars. I know a lot of people are against it and also people are for it. Why don't the broadcast just start it earlier? Why don't they start the race earlier, so it doesn't interfere with the broadcast end time? That's all, boys. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Ben.
Good point on Josh Berry and Austin Dillon. We mentioned Austin before.
Yeah.
And I noticed that looking at the points too. Bit hypocritical, I must say. If Shane had won one oval and not his other road courses, they'd be saying, oh, yeah, he's worthy of being in.
Yeah. And I'd be saying bring on more street tracks.
Yeah, they actually would be, yeah. And then overtime, what do you think, Barbs? I obviously have said already publicly that I think we should. What do you think?
Yeah, no.
Sorry, sound check.
Oh, crisp. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I just think we should never, as the premier motorsport category, ever finish under safety car.
Yeah.
It's just my personal opinion. So whatever you got to do, whether it be overtime or allow more of a buffer in your schedule, whatever it is, you should take priority. I mean, to the point where TA2 on the weekend was on KO and we had a massive red flag and everything, and they still made it priority in the sprint race to then restart our race and give us a full race.
Yeah, right.
After like a 30-minute delay. and they were on Fox.
Yep.
But just everything else got less priority, and they, you know.
Even between sessions, like they have that 10-minute break between quality sessions for entertainment. Yeah. Supercars is entertainment. Yeah. Well, get rid of the 10-minute session, just do back-to-back sessions, change tyres, off you go again. Yeah. There you go. You just got 10 minutes back in your broadcast. Yeah. That goes on the end. And if you have to, shorten the race by 1 lap. If the fuel tanks are at capacity or something for any of the races, shorten the race by 1. There's your overtime buffer, or 2 laps. Yeah. Overtime buffer.
I reckon most motorsport fans at the track won't care if there's a bit of dead time on track if it means they're going to get a good full race of the main category. Like if that means they've got to go and buy a hot dog, or they've got...
Well, there wouldn't be dead time though. There'd be no dead time.
But I'm saying if they needed to put a buffer in there, to your point of having the entertainment stuff, if they need to have a 10-minute segment where they're doing interviews or what, it means people can go to merch.
No, I'm saying get rid of that. That's the problem. There is that at the moment. There's 10 minutes. So I'm like, why are we watching drifters on? So get rid of that, make quali back-to-back. There's your 10 minutes. And if you don't use it, it's only at the end of the race.
Yeah, so the day just finishes early.
The day just finishes 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry, yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
I thought you meant you need the packer, so...
Yeah. Because you could rob Peter to pay Paul. I always fuck up the analogy.
No, that was perfect.
Nailed that one?
Yeah, well done.
But that's what you could do. Take a little bit from here, put it over there, and then... Because you're right, as Premier category, I don't want to see races finish under yellow. Yeah. Jacob, what do you got, mate?
G'day lads, Jacob here from New Zealand. Hopefully you're enjoying your cold ones.
Kiwi.
Just had a thought across the weekend. Do you think supercars should be putting a limiter on the safety car pit stops so that only one car can pit per safety car? Or even further, you can only pit on 1 lap during the safety car period, so teams have to decide whether they double stack or one of their cars can pit, just to add a strategy spice to it. Let me know your thoughts. Cheers.
That might be hard to enforce, I reckon, because you have to know what lap everyone's on. Like someone might have just completed a lap or be about to finish a lap.
It's almost like having a window within that safety car. Look, it's an interesting point. It would obviously throw the strategy around who's got pit priority.
Yeah.
Which is always
you're always going to take the car's lead, aren't you?
Which is an interesting debate, and that adds a bit of internal spice for teams and things, and maybe you'd see guys race harder potentially with their teammates. I'm not sure. But interesting shout, mate.
Yeah. Ben.
G'day, lads. I enjoy the show. I found out this weekend that Trans Am or TA2 run a cross-ply tyre, and that's a heavy contributor into why their racing is what it is. I wonder if that's a simple fix that supercars could do in order to spice the racing up, because the cars look far too grounded and stable on the racetrack that it almost looks too easy, and they don't look like they're driving very hard. And the Trans Am cars and TA2 cars, they're sliding around, you're soaring away at the wheel, they're four-wheel drifting, and even if they're going slower, they look like they're going so much faster. And so I just wonder if, supercars, what would happen if they tried to bring in a cross-ply tyre, what it would do to the racing. Cheers, lads.
That was Ben, wasn't it? It's a good point, mate. And it's not the only reason why I feel like Trans Am and TA2 is so popular and so entertaining, but it is a massive factor to why I think it is. And that's why I say throw a Hoosie on it as like a joke, because the cross-ply tyre, you look at, I don't know if anyone's ever watched on YouTube the Goodwood Revival and things like that with the old historics. They're on cross-ply tyres. They're sliding around. It's entertaining as hell.
Yeah, right.
And they're probably only doing 150, 160K an hour, but it's super entertaining. Trans Am, same thing. Cross-ply tyres, cars are sliding. They make noise. Exciting to watch. They look... And you're right, they might not be going that far. I remember I was at Bathurst when I first watched a TA2 car or a Trans Am car at Bathurst, and there was guys that were about 8 to 9 seconds off the pace, and I was watching them at the cut-in, and they looked wild.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that dude's nowhere, and that looks so exciting. So imagine what it's like watching the front runners come through, and you watch them come through, and you're like, oh, these things are the coolest thing ever. So the tyre is 100% a big factor to why it's entertaining. Yeah, I don't know if you'd ever get a supercar on a cross-ply style tyre, but I think it is a big contributor, and I don't know what they could do, but yeah, the tyre is a big part of creating the entertainment and creating the cars to be able to pass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is a great point.
The tyre is always like, that's
what holds the car on the road. People forget
it's number one. And I've never driven on a tyre like you're describing.
Very similar, mate, to Formula Ford days.
Yeah, okay.
It feels like a big Formula Ford.
Right.
You know, you get that flat slide, the 4 slide, because of Formula Ford. Avons were a cross-ply tyre.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I just agree that the racing looks great. I mean, I watched TA2 on the weekend. The cars are moving around. I agree. I don't know. I really think we've got to create a tyre that digs. We need a high peak grip so that you got a good quality tyre, you get a good advantage when you're fresh out of the pit lane, and then you want it to cliff so that you only need a couple laps to overlap. The cars start to move around. And it's a good point as well that you don't need to be that fast. Like if we were doing 208s at Bathurst again, no one would care that we're not doing 205s anymore as long as the cars moved around and also we could follow closer and race each other. You go slower, only by a little bit, and the racing's great. You don't even look at IndyCar and go, geez, this looks slow compared to F1, do you? You just think the racing's better.
I've said it before. I've never seen a punter or a fan at the fence with a stopwatch.
Yeah.
They do not care.
Yeah, they're not going to tell over 2 minutes. They're not going to be able to tell the difference between 4 seconds.
They're not going to go, that car was a half second slower. Oh, it's no fun. I've always said, you know, it's entertainment first. They've got to shoot flames, they've got to sound good, and they've got to slide.
Yep.
And you've got to be able to pass.
And always be a V8.
Correct. And,
Always.
and rear-wheel drive.
Yes, yeah.
We're Australians and Kiwis, it's got to be V8 rear-wheel drive, shooting flames.
Yep.
And you've got to have a shifter.
Yes, definitely.
So,
Even a H-pattern, chuck a H-pattern in it.
Like four-speed dog box, bring it back. But I think that's where NASCAR have a massive part in the tyres with Goodyear, and they change them all the time.
Yeah.
And I just wonder with Supercars and Dunlop, do they, as well as the engineers and all of that and the team input, do they then also have someone from Supercars from the entertainment side being like, well, this is the must-haves this tyre must create? You know, whether it be has to slide a little bit or it has to make noise, hear it screeching across the road or whatever it is that they think is a key seller to creating that entertainment side, and let them have some input as well, rather than just engineers going, well, this is what we need, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because if we're always looking from a performance point of view or something like that, sometimes you'll lose that entertainment aspect where a cross-ply tyre is not a performance tyre as such, but it creates great racing.
Yep.
And if everyone's in the same boat, you just deal with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree, 100%. Nice one. Dwight.
Hey, boys. Dwight from New Zealand here. Scotty, I was just wondering, because you're quite controversial and I love it, do you find that that's potentially going to be limiting for your driving career moving forward? Obviously, Jamie and the team at T8 are comfortable with what you do, but if that deal was to fall through and you were to try and pursue another seat, do you think being outspoken may hinder your ability to get another drive? Love the pod, boys. It's fantastic. Absolutely outstanding. And how good is Shane Van Gisbergen at the moment? Mate, Kiwi's absolutely slaying it.
Yeah, I do think you might be right there, mate, because if you don't cause waves, often your survival rate increases in most things, especially in a corporate world. But I'm just of the belief that I don't think I'm like controversial. I'm very passionate, and I just say what I think. That's all. But I do agree that, because I see the comment a fair bit. But I am still, my opinion is, if the sport is better, we all have a chance at a better career, whether it's my kids coming up or the next kid, the next Scott, the next Van Gisbergen that wants to come into it. I think we have a responsibility to try and improve what we've got. And sometimes, I know, like, you know, Noons, there's bits you agree with where it's like, okay, maybe don't be so public with it. But at the end of the day, I do think you have to be sometimes. Sometimes you do need to be public with it and talk about the elephant in the room to try and create change.
Yeah. My opinion is I don't think it will hurt you. One, we're now seeing other drivers doing a pod because they see what it's done for you and I by putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
The positive that comes from it.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I mean, you know, you're not stupid, mate. If it was causing a drama, you would do something better, because your number of priority is your career, or was, but it might not be now. I don't know. That's up for you to determine. But I don't think it is, mate. Like, honestly, being transparent, we're not just shit canning for the sake of shit canning. It's all about positive change and bettering the sport.
Yeah.
And the only people that don't see it that way have a differing point of view, which is fine. But there's a shitload of people that agree with everything that comes out of your mouth. And I think so. I personally don't think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's. At the end of the day, if you're getting employed to be a co-driver or a driver, it's performance related.
It has to be, yeah.
So you've got a good brand. How many people come and, since the show, want to come and take a photo and know who you are? And if you're doing the goods with the lap time, that's all the team should matter about.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's not, though.
I understand, but they're the teams that you don't want to drive for.
Yeah, and I think that's the fair point.
So,
yeah, I think that's a great point.
888, best team in the biz. Love what we're doing here at AHU.
Yeah, I think if you perform on track, that's a team that employs their drivers on merit. If you're not performing on track, doesn't matter what you're doing off it, you won't get the job.
So that's my view.
Good question, though.
Yes.
And I have seen it pop up a few times, so it's, I don't mind it, because often it's a comment someone makes about, is Scott fucking stupid here? So I do appreciate actually just asking a question and being able to talk about that. That's good. We'll do a couple more here. Narelle?
Hi guys, this is Narelle. I hope you are well. Not a question, but a comment. I just wanted to pay credit and respect to Giz. When I read about the issues his family has had this year health-wise, especially his dad, he must have just wanted to pack up and go home, and he didn't. He showed up. He showed up for his fans, he showed up for his boss, and he showed up for himself. Well done, Giz.
Yeah, well said, Narelle. Thank you.
Well said indeed. Actually, really good to see Shane's dad over there. How funny was it as well? He's like, I did make a cheeky trip to Knoxville before coming here, though. Like, he's just a motorsport nutter as well.
Yeah.
But it is very good. And, we can't wait to get over there as well. Obviously, we're good mates with Shane. And it, even for me, feels like ages. I mean, I saw him last year, but it's going to be great to catch up with him.
Well, it must be I've never lived overseas, like, with my racing. I've always just raced, domestically here in Australia and New Zealand. So for me, I've never, but you packed up, mate, as a young fella, went to Europe.
Yeah.
Shane's doing it. We just saw the young 19-year-old that's now playing American football in his interview the other day.
Yep.
He said how homesick he was and he got it must be real hard. So, yeah, I mean, I can't understand it, but I imagine it is tough, especially then if you have things going on at home as well. So,
and with his schedule, like that's probably the unique thing that, like when I lived overseas, I mean, I went after my dad passed away, and for me it was like I wanted to get away and do my, go over there and race. But I think if you've got stuff happening back home and with your race schedule, like 36 weeks a year, there's no time in between to really get home, and that would definitely be hard. So anyway, really nice message, I thought. Yep. Good. Jamie.
Boys, Jamie from Ballina here, just reporting in from heading out to QR last weekend. Man, we miss a lot with the on-track experience by having the TV coverage beamed over the PA system instead of a dedicated on-field commentary team. Hearing snippets of the TV coverage intertwined with music and in and out, you just miss so much. It just doesn't work, especially that Superbikes race that was canned on the Saturday. Man, I had no idea what was going on when they disappeared. You've got to go back to the days where you had an actual commentator, like a Barry Oliver, and that added so much to the at-track experience. They've got to work on that, Supercars.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
Like you think there's normally track callers. I didn't realise that they
didn't have the big screen stuff going, because they normally have the big screen stuff going.
Is it separate commentary for that, though?
Yeah, so...
like track commentary?
Yeah. Yeah, it's normally a different team, and that's always sort of going around, and that's why our mate in Darwin had the AHU hat on for a day until he got told to take it off on the big screen stuff. He was doing
that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that at QR. I'm sorry, mate, I don't know. It's definitely a good call. You need track commentary.
100% you do, yeah. So I wasn't there, so I didn't know that wasn't there, and you had the white shirt on. So
Kim Lane has put in our Patreon, that was definitely one thing that was missing at the track for sure.
Interesting.
So there you go. There's one little thing to improve on for the next time.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I thought
maybe they could have us for track commentary, the big screen stuff. Not track commentary, but like just roaming around talking to the punters on the big screen. That'd be fun.
I mean, it would be fun to cruise around and do that. That would
People would probably get sick of hearing us talk shit, though.
Probably. But yeah, and also, I mean, I heard about the parking, but I've got to say, if you go to an event, people go. It's going to be hard to get out.
Mate, you'll see when we go to the NASCAR stuff.
Oh, it's
that's how tailgating and stuff was invented, because people are like, well, we're here for a couple of hours, we'll have a beer on the back.
Yep. And so I can appreciate it's painful when you're leaving, but like I wanted to, like it's Sunday night. Obviously I didn't race either, so I could have got out of there, but I checked the maps and I'm like, fuck, it's a couple of hours, and I just hung out, waited.
We need to start tailgating in Australia.
That would be pretty mad.
We need to bring that in.
That would be good.
Just barbecues and stuff, and everyone just hanging out.
I reckon traffic, though, is a good problem for our sport.
Means people are turning up. That's a good thing. Going. Yeah, 100%.
And if you don't want to deal with the traffic, park really far away and walk in. Because if you get a good park, you're normally like, okay, I'm taking the pain later.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be like, okay, I need to, you know, and I think because people paid for priority parking and stuff, but then of course when you leave, you're going to be closer to the gate. But I thought it was cool. I thought there was a really good turnout in pit lane. You can normally tell by the backs of the garages because when you get halfway down the lane, there's not normally a lot of people. Yeah. I felt like at QR, right down, because they had super bikes there, there was people up and down the lane at the back of the pits. It was packed.
Dude, even on the weekend at a WSA meet, like QR always gets people because it's so accessible. Quinny's done an amazing job with the place, and like there was this massive thing for kids to kick this, like they were big tennis balls on this big dartboard. Was that there at the Supercar race? And they like Velcro grip on?
I don't know. Is this from like Wolf of Wall Street?
No, it's like that, but instead of throwing little people, you're kicking balls.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, he just thinks of everything. He just thinks of everything. Like there was stuff for kids doing. There's always, as I say, even at the smaller events, there's always a good crowd at QR. So they do it very well there.
One thing I love is the parking on the hill. Seeing cars parked up, it reminds me so much of like Speedway when you're young, sitting on the hill watching car racing, watching sprint cars. And
there's people up there on the weekend parking up there. And,
was there?
And they were walking down and coming to the garage. They'd go back up for the race, and it's awesome.
Supercars definitely should have made our test day public though.
Yeah, that was strange.
So it was open to the public at Sydney at the start of the year, but then this one wasn't.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I think as much as possible, put us on in front of everyone. Like I'm like, if you're at the track,
eyeballs are eyeballs.
Make it open and let people come and watch. We're only on 13 times a year. Every day counts.
And I do agree. Any track where you can camp is cool.
Yeah, Winton.
Winton's great for it.
Missed that.
Well, at the historic event I did 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
There was heaps of people camping, and I was like, that looks so fun. I'd love to do that. Like Bathurst, it's awesome fun. We've done that.
Yep.
QR, I think, can they camp at QR?
Yeah, there was camping like out at the car park, though, not on the edge of the track or anything. Yeah. But it was on the way in, there was camping. And it was actually fair play to whoever organised that area. They had food vans. So it was literally, by the go-kart track.
Yeah.
Right by there on the outside. They had food vans and everything. Awesome. And everyone had, there was a heap of caravans and stuff in their setup. I thought that was really cool. That would have been a good atmosphere.
I think that's street tracks, we can't bring the campers in, but the permanent circuits, I think having a space for people to be able to bring their caravans in or camp, I think is a really cool draw card.
For sure. Well done, TQ.
Yeah.
I also like when he goes to the press conferences because he always says something funny.
Yeah, I just saw someone in our comments, can't see it now, said, he was gold in the press conference. We need to get him on the show.
Well, he's just a guy it has nothing to gain or lose from, he says whatever. Like I think that when someone is well off, don't really have an axe to grind, they just usually say...
Doing it for the love of it.
He just says what he's thinking, and I rate that. So he's always a good laugh in the press conference. Other than that, I actually thought the racing wasn't too bad. I'm not a fan of the virtual safety car, but in that instance, it did give us a race that flipped on its head.
Yeah.
NASCAR, we're excited to get to America and talk some just shop with the guys on Stacking Pennies.
Sign up now to our Patreon because
Could get rude.
There's just going to be some real good fun stuff, I reckon.
Yep.
We're taking Paulie over. Sure have hooked us up with some new mics. We're taking all the cameras.
Yep.
It's going to be a heap of fun. So, jump on there.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the support too. Cheers.
Yep. Thanks, guys.